Third time's a charm. Can y'all hear
Hi
us?
guys, welcome to
Wow, what an intro. Sorry.
a very dear
Beautiful.
friend of mine, Aaron made me that. Yeah, he's very talented. So I'm not actually supposed to be here right now, so I'm going to disappear. You guys are using my stream. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna go have my morning cigarette. I love you guys, but I'm
I love you too,
disappearing
and thank you
background.
for this so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
We didn't do it, Sue. Crystal did
That's why I'm
it.
happy.
I want to
And now
use
we're
this
just
StreamYard.
now I'm
I
even
don't
more
like.
nervous.
Oh no! Now we got all the
I'm
bugs
like
out. Now
the
we're good.
anticipation, like three
Yes,
times,
you're
not just
good.
once.
You're good. So everybody,
Oh,
I was going to try to give everybody a time, time to get over from my channel and from your channel. And
yeah,
this is actually amazing. That thank you, Crystal. Save the day.
she did.
um,
Yeah, amazing.
I don't know where everybody is like all over. I know it. Like
I look
I
like
was
I'm
up
sitting
at
here
3
naked,
3
but I'm
a.m.
not. I have a dress on.
Let's see, MD Media. Hello, honey. But no, what we do is I got up at 3 a.m. so we could get started at 5 a.m. And my StreamYard is fixing to go bye bye. Hi, Brian. How are you?
And we fixed your StreamYard yesterday, didn't we? You were having troubles, and I came on and helped you with it. We fixed it, and
Yes,
then
we fixed it.
and you haven't touched it since
No,
then.
ma'am, I haven't even done
And then you
anything because I
come
was at
on
the
and it's
doctor all
not
day
working
yesterday.
again.
So,
Oh
so
dear.
what we're going to do is Keela in Mental Health Matters. Yes, you're right, Poet. It's going to find another streaming service since they just doubled their price, and I just paid them yesterday. So, yeah,
Not
I'm done
good.
with them. This has been coming. I wanted to introduce. I know everybody's here for tea, but I wanted to introduce why we're doing it this way before I brought her on stage. But now that everything's happened, we're just going to go for it. Right? We can do hard things. We say that every day here in Mental Health Matters. We can do hard things,
We
and we've
can.
done it. Yes, we can.
We can.
T is someone that I met through, obviously through YouTube, and I'm going to tell y'all. She touched my soul because the night that her father passed away, I opened the channel. We were 3 hours on. We sat, we held space, we talked, we cried, we laughed, we talked about memories, and I had a bond from that moment on. And yes, I'm a super empath. So yes, I had a bond with T from that moment on. She was so nice in calling me everywhere she was going, letting me know that she was okay. We did mental health check-ins. This lady right here is the epitome of a friend and a true warrior.
Oh,
And
thank you. Wow.
you're an amazing mother. I love your son.
So do
And
I.
so
Yeah.
T has decided we're not going to just go back, we're going to go back. So this is going to probably be a little long stream. If you need to get up and excuse yourself, if it's, triggering or anything like that, there's going to be some traumatic information. There's going to be triggering information for people. Please do not feel bad. You can go out, come back in. You can go on replay. We are here for T. And what we're going to do is I'm not going to read the comments or the questions because I want my attention on the T. And I want T to be able to answer. So I'm going to actually turn the chat to where I can't see it. And if you want to do that, T, you can. But for me to be able to, with this ADHD brain of mine,
Yeah, and I have ADHD as well. So if I don't answer or anything, we can do it afterwards or whatever, because I do get distracted.
Yes, and actually afterwards,
I find it very hard.
And Crystal's going to star and come. She's going to be backstage. She's going to star stuff. So we'll get to the comments and questions. Please give them. Please, if you have anything, Crystal will be starring them, and we will get to them. But I just like to make sure that my attention is where it needs to be. And when I'm looking at the chat, I'm not paying attention to her, and she deserves this. So I'm going to click on private chat and be done. I don't see the chat.
Well, where do I go from that? Thank you so much.
Do you have the chat off? Okay. All right. So let's just have a conversation.
I don't. Yeah, no, thank you so much for such a beautiful introduction there, and ditto right back at you to all of that. You've been an amazing friend to me as well, and I feel like I've known you a lot longer than I have. And I'm glad you can hear. Look, there you go. I'm looking at the chat already. I'm glad you can hear.
Get out of
Well,
that chat.
right.
We are going to share. We're going to share. Crystal, when she comes back, is going to share T's channel, Mental Health Matters channel. All of her links. We're going to get to all of that. But since we kind of had a bumpy start, I wanted to give T the time to get
It's
in here and
okay.
tell her story.
So, I mean, I'm fine telling my story. I've actually, I mean, where do I start? So,
Okay, let's
the way
start
I
at the
want to
very
kind of
beginning.
approach, well, the way I want to kind of approach this is by sharing what I've learned over the last, I guess, year, and sharing my story in the hope that, you know, I want to be able to hopefully help others. You know, sometimes, you know, when you hear other people telling their stories, you think, oh, okay, you know, things click in your story and you can help work it out and stuff like that. So I guess I could
And you're
start.
absolutely right about that. One person.
Yeah.
All it takes is one person.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. So if I start with my childhood, because I have only just realized stuff about my childhood over the last year. I'm 43 years old, and it's taken me that long to kind of realize, with the help of therapy and stuff. So basically, it feels so weird doing this on camera. It feels really weird. I've told my story many, many times. I suffer from CPTSD. I have ADHD, and I'm also on the spectrum. I'm undiagnosed, but self-diagnosed.
Don't you love our letters? We have alphabet soup.
I know, we're collecting the alphabet. And where was I going with that? Sorry.
No. So you have CPTSD, you have ADHD, spectrum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. So I thought, so I've been through abuse, and I thought it stemmed from that, but I'll go to my childhood, and then that might explain.
It
I
will.
think
No, it will.
so. With childhoods, for me, I think, you know, I think it's from the year 1 to 5. What you go through affects you the most at that time. So
Yes.
I was born in Scotland. I'm the eldest of 5 children. My mum and dad, they had 3 girls. So my dad, both my parents are autistic. My dad got diagnosed at 62. My mum is self-diagnosed like a year ago. So very, very recent. So I grew up with 2 autistic parents that didn't know they were autistic. And yeah, so it was, but you know, when you're a child, you don't know any different, and you didn't, you know, I didn't know. My dad was very, very loving, very sweet. He was a classical composer. He wrote songs for me and my 2 sisters when we were born. He was lots of fun, and he was very, very sweet. He used to read us bedtime stories every night, and you know, be like, oh, just one more story, Dad, you know, and he'd barely ever say no. He'd always read us another one. He was the sweetest soul.
I know you're gonna
very
make me cry
loving.
because I'm in mine now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
don't be sorry.
sorry.
No, this is what
Yeah.
we touch.
When you start crying, you're going to start me off, because he was very sweet, very loving, always telling us he loves us. And, you know, he'd tell me secretly, he'd say, well, you know, you're the firstborn, you're my princess, you know, don't tell the others, you know, which I'm sure he was telling them that as well. But, you know, so always had lots and lots of love from my dad. My mum, I don't remember her being around a lot. I know she was working. There was a few times, like I remember when I was really, really young, being on the back of her bike when she was, you know, cycling along, and she had one of those seats on the back, and I remember going like, faster, faster, and she's going, I'm going as fast as I can bloody go. I remember like a few happy memories like that, but I also remember her being quite aggressive. I remember like the worst, earliest memory was of her strangling me around the perimeter of a room. And it was because
that happened.
So it was before my youngest sister out of the 3 was born. So I must have been around 7, maybe 8. Yeah, so I was pretty young. And it was because I was fighting with my other sister, who's a year younger than me. We were always fighting, you know.
Yeah.
You do with your siblings.
Yeah. Oh,
But
absolutely.
yeah, I didn't think anything of it. You know, I don't know. Anyway, so when I was around 9, my mum started working. She trained to be a driving instructor, and she started like a driving school that was run out of our house with this guy called Tom. And he was an ex-paratrooper, and he they ended up having an affair.
Right.
And I remember seeing them in the office because we had like quite a big house in Glasgow. It was I loved that house. I just remember before Tom came on the scene, that was one of the happiest times of my life, you know. Even with the things that had happened, I don't know. That was the only incident I remember where my mum was like, you know, horrible or violent or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
No,
and
so
I
let me
remember
ask you-
seeing them.
Let me ask you this: before Tom came along, were there
Yeah.
any problems? Like, did you notice or did you see any problems like between your mom and your
I
dad?
don't remember seeing my mum and dad together. But another thing I remember was this is how sweet my dad is. She would come up and smack our bums, you know, if we weren't going to sleep. But really smack them, like leave a red handprint, you know, for days. And but I don't remember how it made me feel, you know, like I don't remember being scared of her. But I remember my dad, she would send my dad up to smack our bums, and he couldn't bring himself to do it. It's too sweet. So he'd go like this. He goes, right, I'm going to go like this, and then you pretend to cry.
You scream. Yes. Been there.
He was that sweet, you know, bless him. So, but yeah, anyway, I saw my mum and Tom kissing in the office. Like, we had this office, like full on pashing, you know. And I got that horrible feeling in my tummy, like I knew it was wrong, you know, but I didn't really understand what was going on. So I didn't say anything. And then one day my dad went to work, and this removals van just shows up at the house. Wow. And she clears everything out. So my smallest sister of those 3 was 3 years old at the time. And she put her in the van, and Tom's daughter and everything. And she said, you know, she like bent down to us and said, I'm leaving. I'm leaving your dad. I'm running away with Tom.
Wow.
We're like, what the fuck? You know, like.
I mean, how old were you at that point? 9? 10?
I was 10.
Wow.
Yeah. So 10, 9, and then 3.
Okay.
She says, I'll come back for you. And we're just like bewildered, you know, like what the hell is going on? And she put us up at the neighbor's house. It was like 3 doors up, and sort of just went, you know. So, oh, blimey. I'm trying to think.
So how did that make you So how did that make you at that point feel like abandoned? I'm sure.
Well, I mean, apparently it was a very, well, you know, I don't know. It was a very, very long time ago. I mean, we're talking like 33 years ago. But I felt, I remember feeling like just confused, I guess.
Okay.
Didn't really understand, you know, I didn't understand the seriousness of it, I guess. And then my dad came home, obviously, and he was like absolutely devastated. He had no idea they had any problems. Like, she'd even sort of cuddled up to him the night before and told him that she loved him and all of that, like probably out of guilt or whatever. So yeah, anyway, she moved down to the south coast of England. Like, she couldn't get any further away, otherwise she would have been in France. But yeah,
I've been into geographic.
It's okay. It's funny. It's like when I tell my story, it's like I'm talking about someone else because it was so long ago. Yeah. So I guess like my dad always made everything fun. So she actually came up and tried to sort of snatch us at one point. She broke into the house while we were out. It was really weird. She took all our bedding. I don't know if she took the beds or she took the bedding, which scared the crap out of us. I remember that scaring us. And my dad had this van from work, and it had like a metal step on the back of it. And he'd like reverse into like on a verge or something, and there was some grass stuck on the bottom of the step, and he's going, "It's all right, girls, we've got camouflage," you know. And he was driving around, and they were chasing us around in this big van all around Glasgow. And I remember feeling terrified, you know. So I was scared of this. I didn't like Tom. He had something really creepy about him. He was an ex-paratrooper, and he was an alcoholic, and he was just really creepy. He was very like, I don't know, just well, you'll find out anyway. So anyway, there was a 3-year court battle. You know, we didn't want to go and live with them in England. We had our friends, we had our school, we were happy in the house, you know. And so there was a massive court case, and we told the people that we didn't want to go and live there with him. So she moved him out, told them that they'd split up. My dad moved down to England. She was pregnant, and she told my dad it was his. Yeah. And she won custody. And then 3 weeks later, she moved Tom back in. My dad was just like, he was just broken. He ended up going back up to Scotland. And, you know, so all of a sudden we're in this house. We've got a new sister, which is Tom's daughter. My mum's pregnant by him. And it was just, we all hated her. We did not respect her at all. We were like, she's, you know, we've been torn away from Scotland. I was a very proud Scot, had a Scottish accent and everything. Right. And yeah, we got, you know, just torn away from everything just all of a sudden. So we're all really angry with her and had no respect at all. So it got to, like, I got bullied at school. I was very, very thin. When my mum and dad, like when they broke up, I was borderline anorexic. I barely ate. I didn't want to eat. I was like skeletal. I have a photo somewhere, but yeah.
I know, and that's what I was looking to see if I got. That's what I'm looking now to see.
I didn't send you any. No, I didn't. I didn't get time to go through them. No, sorry.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, where's it
at? Yeah. So you know, getting bullied at school. I'd always been a very awkward kid. I got picked on in primary school in Scotland actually as well. I always had a very kind of, I don't know, I just didn't get people and friendships, and people would be laughing at things I didn't find it funny, you know, and that'd be the autism that I know now. Yeah, so.
Oh, wait, okay. You know, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I do have a question I want to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay, so before your mom and the custody battle, did you have those feelings like when you were in school, or were you okay?
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, sorry, I missed that out. Yeah, I was getting bullied in school in Scotland as well. But I had one best friend. You know, I did have a best friend. Yeah, kids are just assholes, you know, because
they're mean. You don't have,
you know, it was all about having the nice clothes and stuff like that, and we didn't have nice clothes. When my mum left, my dad used to spoil us rotten. He got into debt, and he would buy us all the nice clothes. So it wasn't as bad the last couple of years. Yeah, so all of a sudden we're in England, we've got no friends. I started, because the school years are different in Scotland and England, so I had to start in the second year of high school. So everyone had already made their cliques and everything, and they had their friends, and I'm in there, and I was just this thin, pale-skinned girl with long dark hair, so thin, and like depressed. You know, like so sad because my whole world had been torn apart. And I got picked on for being skinny. There was remarks, you know, all the time from people when I was walking past, and they used to call me Wednesday Addams or Morticia. So I'd go down the hallway, and they'd be like, da 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 da. You know, I hated it. You know, but anyway.
What we walk through in our younger lives and what we go through in our younger lives, and this is just something I've learned.
I know. Yeah. I can laugh about it now, and I own that shit, you know, like I'm just.
Yeah, you own that shit now. Everything that you have made it through helps you to be stronger to make it through that next step. And then when you make it through that next step, what you've learned,
I don't know,
to make it through that next step. And that's how we live in life. That's how we go forward.
Oh no, they're saying there's an echo. You know?
Yeah, I think it's on you. I think, do you have YouTube?
Is it me? Hang on. I detest bullies as well, Joe. I honestly. Is that better? Do I sound echoey now?
No, I don't hear you anymore now. It's not echoing.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay. Do I sound echoey in chat?
No.
I'm okay.
I don't hear it.
All right. So anyway, so going on more about Tom. he was just a really, really dodgy character. Oh, it's doing that weird. Hang on a minute. I was auto-tuning. Oh, that stupid bloody thing. Am I okay now?
I don't hear echo.
Is there an echo?
Oh, I don't hear.
No echo?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably okay for you, Keela, but it's in the chat. It's happened before where it sounds weird for the chat, but it's okay for you. I don't know.
Yeah, I have the
Yeah,
chat
okay,
off.
cool. Okay.
I'm not looking at chat.
So
I have to
Tom,
pay my focus here.
okay. Don't look at the chat. Yeah. All right. So Tom, right. So Tom was a massive kind of massive bellend. He was an alcoholic. He was one of these people that kind of had the gift of the gab, could convince anyone of anything. He'd
Silver
write
tongue
like,
snake.
yeah, he would write like fake letters and make up false companies to get fake IDs and all sorts of weird stuff. And he was also really pervy and slimy and a drunk. Always making sexual remarks to all of us.
Yeah.
There was actually an incident with my little sister when we first moved down, or was it on holiday? I don't know. My little sister, I think she was 5 at the time, and something happened. I still don't know to this day what happened, but the police were called. Yeah, it's okay. Like, I still don't know. My sister won't talk about it. Something happened. The police were called, and my dad came down from Glasgow, and she had bruises on her thighs, and
Oh no.
something happened. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it because that's her story. But yeah, there was something
Well, I mean,
happened.
it affected you. It affected you, obviously. I mean, you had to watch that.
Well, I don't think I was there at the time. I think it was, I can't remember. I just remember
That's
something
okay.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay.
So, yeah. So so how old am I now? I'm trying to think. 13. So yeah, it was all these sexual remarks and everything. And my mum had never drunk before she met him. She had long straight hair. She'd go to church every Sunday. She wore no makeup. You know, she was just this like kind of pure person. And then when she met him and they started working together, she started wearing mini skirts. She got her hair permed. She got her ears pierced. She's wearing like all this makeup and high heels. And you
How
know,
old was
and
she
then
when she started working with him?
she was, I think, 31, maybe.
Okay, that's just a
30?
question.
I don't know. She had a very sheltered life before, and I think she was put down a lot by her
Yes.
parents, you know? So,
That's what I was going to ask.
yeah. So, I know we always look at the childhoods and stuff, don't we? So
Yes,
yeah,
we do.
anyway, it got to the point. So he was really pervy, and things went on, and my mum started drinking heavily with him. They built an extension on the house, and they actually built their own lounge room, and they would go in the lounge. It had a lock on it, and they would just lock us out and just not bother with us and just get really drunk. And she had 2 more kids. Was that after I left? So there's 2 little kids. I'm the eldest, and his kids. So there were 6 kids in the house, and yeah, they just used to lock themselves in there, get drunk and stoned together all the time. We were quite neglected. And so me and my other sister, who's a year younger than me, we took on the mothering roles.
You're going to be the mother because you're the oldest, yes.
Yeah.
And just because of the person you are, so.
Yeah. So I just saw Joe saying he controlled what your mum was to wear. So my mum was very, very naive, still is. Sorry, mum, if you're watching. Very naive and she was absolutely besotted with him, you know. She would just be like, oh, you know. But oh no, sorry, I'm just not going to look at the chat.
No,
sorry,
I saw that. I saw that map.
Fire
Oh wow.
in Malibu. Shit.
Okay. Oh my god. We have friends there.
Okay. Oh my god. Do you want to check or?
Matt, will you let us know what's going on?
Yeah, let us know what's happening. If anyone's houses are.
Yeah, because we have friends there.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, so like, okay, long story short, so things got worse and worse. They were locking themselves away. We would hear them having sex all the time. Like in detail.
Yeah.
Lots of talking during it.
You were just scared. You were in.
Yeah, but if we did get to go into the lounge room and watch TV with them, he would be sitting there with his hand up her skirt and stuff.
Oh my
in front of
God.
us, you know, and he'd get her to wear like, they'd be really, really drunk and she'd be wearing like, I don't know, don't think they thought we were going to see, but she's wearing like a see-through shirt with no bra on and like stuff like that. So it was really like inappropriate sexual stuff going on in front of all of us. And, you know, there was zero guidance for any of us. Even when I was with my dad, he was affectionate, he was loving, but he was a friend, you know? He didn't know what to do. No, he was our friend. You know, and he did his best.
Okay, so the same thing. My dad was my friend, and I needed a parent.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel like I'm like that with my son sometimes, but I'm aware that I'm like that. So every now and then I'll try and discipline him every now and then, and he'll just look at me like, "Shut up, mum." And then I laugh and it's just all over, you know. So anyway, things got worse and worse. I mean, it was gross. And so at the age of 14, I got a boyfriend. We lost our virginity to each other. He was 2 years older than me. We were drinking all the time, and you know, we just didn't have any respect for our mum, me and the sister that's a year younger. I'll call her H. And we just used to go out. We just used to go out and get drunk all the time and smoke weed and stuff like that. There was no consequences, you know.
What were you supposed to do?
I don't know. Well, what role models have we got?
Right. That's exactly right. I mean, that's all you've seen to go for.
So like, yeah. So we go out and carry on and all that, and then so there was one night my stepdad took me to the pub, and he told me to tell everyone that I was 18 and in university, and he was like sort of telling the bartender that and everything, and buy me all these drinks. And he was getting really drunk, but you know when you're really young and you drink, that you can handle quite a lot and still be compos mentis, you know.
Absolutely.
And he was slurring and staggering about. Yeah, so, yeah. I used to drink so much.
That word is like infinity, I believe.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, he was like being weird and saying that I was at uni and calling me his daughter and stuff like that. No worries, Mad. Yeah, and then so on the way home, he got touchy-feely with me, and I told my mum about it a few days later, and she just didn't respond. So I was sort of like, it was hard alcohol. It was Bacardi, which I hate the smell of now. In fact, I remember me and my sister, we would, when they weren't looking, we'd get the bottle and tip half of it out and replace it with water because we didn't want them to get so drunk.
Well, we have got the great same brains. We did. Yeah, that seems to be a thing that kids just know.
We were just like, oh, I just don't want them to get so drunk. And it was, you know, we'd hardly get any food. I remember like there was never like these days. All my friends have like snack drawers or snack cupboards for their kids, right? Yes. You get snacks. You come home from school and you get a snack. We never got that. Like I have the biggest snack drawer now.
I know.
You know,
isn't it weird? Isn't it funny how now but what you have went through, which reminds me of like
this is just my childhood. I haven't got to the really juicy bits yet.
Yeah, but just you're rising from the ashes on this, and that's why I love Crystal's channel here. But rising from the ashes, just the part you've already stated. Okay, so if we look at the mom you are nothing like what you were raised or what you were role modeled. You took that vulnerability, that trauma, and you turned it and you made something, and you are an amazing mom and you have an amazing son. So if anything, those strengths that you learned going through that, you have implemented them and you've done it well.
Thank you. I don't agree with that completely, but you know, I've got my Captain Davies tears. I don't drink now. I used to. I think I've had enough drink in my life. But yeah, hang on, sorry.
And I have already drank my coffee at 3 this morning. I'm drinking sweet tea.
I can't believe you were up so. Did you actually go to sleep though?
He made me go to sleep because I was crying yesterday from the tests and everything. So yeah, I did. At 9 o'clock, I went to sleep, and I was up at 3, so I got 6 straight hours of sleep.
I didn't even ask you how your test went. I'm so sorry.
Oh, go to the neurosurgeon on Thursday. So day after
Okay.
tomorrow. And I'll know something
Okay.
then. Mhm.
Okay. We'll talk about that afterwards.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, it goes on and on like that, and I got dumped by my boyfriend. And I remember when
I
I got
agree
to
with you,
his
Joe. She is strong. Very.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm starting to believe that. I don't know. I didn't for a long time, but so this was my first like love, teenage love, and
It's a
we lost our
heartbreaker.
virginity to each other. We and I remember I heard him. I was told that he said that this is so bad.
No,
Having sex
you're good.
with me was like having sex with a bag of bones. That's what he said, and I heard it from one of
Well,
his
you know
friends.
what? Then go find
And he-
somebody else, dude.
Anyway, we were just teenagers. I think he was 16 and I was 14, and he broke up with me because he wasn't spending enough time with his friends. And I
Isn't
look
that
back
the way
now
it
and
is?
it's like, I look back now and it's like, I don't know if people do it as teenagers, but you're like really obsessive about your boyfriend, or I don't know if that was just me with my
I think it's
what
females.
I now
I'm
know.
sorry. I'm not trying to
Writing
make anyone
love
mad. I
notes
think it's
and
females. Yeah. We tend to
I don't know. Well, I'll
caregiver.
get to that
Hey,
later.
Katie.
So I'll get to that later anyway. But I was absolutely devastated, and I tried to unalive myself. That's how devastated I was.
Yeah.
And I tried, try to
Yeah.
cut my wrists and everything, and I got taken to hospital. And I know why now, but I'll get onto that later. So anyway, I got with another
Well,
boyfriend.
T, Papa Smurf in the hospital.
Oh shit!
Damn it. Oh, wow.
My duct cleared. That's why the surgery.
My prayers and thoughts going for Papa.
Oh sugar.
Man,
Will he
what is
be
going on
okay?
today? I don't know, but Papa is that worries me on him.
Oh,
And then
blimey.
Matt and tell us about the fires. Okay, so Friday the 13th is coming up, and
Ah.
I think something just went in retrograde, and we're full moon. We've got to get all of this into a positive vibe here.
See, right, I refuse to believe in the whole Friday the 13th thing, and I say that that's my lucky day.
13 is
And I
one of my
haven't
lucky
had any.
numbers. Me too.
Yeah, and I haven't had that happen. Anything happen to
I
me on
know
Friday
we
the
weren't going to
13th.
read the chat, but I can't help it now because
No,
when
I can't help it either.
So we're
That
just going to have
was
a
your fault.
conversation.
I don't know. I feel like I need to jump ahead. So anyway, I got with another boyfriend. He was 18. I am 16, 15 at this point, and I end up moving out. I move out at 15. I think it was like a couple of weeks before my 16th birthday, and I move in with this boyfriend. And he was so sweet. He was lovely. And I was with him for 2 years, and he asked me to marry him. And I was 15, and I broke up with him this time because I thought he was boring. Like I think that's part of.
So I'm not trying to psychoanalyze. I'm just going to say that it seems like that. Okay, so that same path that your mom had found exciting, that you were exposed to in your younger years. Oh wow, maybe it is because now you're actually old enough to experience those type of feelings.
But I think it's also in that high alert kind of. It was not very good at being grounded.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. So we broke up, and I moved in with this lady, and this is where the story starts to get quite bad, I guess. Moved in with a lady that I met through work or whatever, because I was working at. That's another thing. I remember at 14 years old, being told I have to get a job and being locked in the room, and we had this thing called the Friday ad where you have all like a jobs page, and you had to call up all these numbers, and I knew I wasn't going to get these jobs, but my mum would not let me out that room until I did it. And I remember like calling them and crying down the phone to them, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I have to ring you, and they were like, "Oh my God, I hope you're okay," So anyway, why did I say that? I think it's because I remembered.
No, it's good. The memories.
I had a massive. I tell you what, right? This is what YouTube's done for me. I used to have a huge fear of talking to people on the phone, like for years and years and years. And over the last months, I ring people now. I'm confident calling people. I don't care. I'm doing it live on YouTube, like.
That's what I say. I'm live on YouTube. who would have ever thought that? Like,
If I could do a
but
live on YouTube,
because
I can call
I
people.
believe in fate. I believe that things are going to happen the way they're supposed to happen, and I believe I met you for a reason, and that's all because of this.
Aw.
You're
Yeah,
in my
I don't
heart.
know. Thank you. And you are mine. So anyway, so I'm at this lady's house. Her name's Trudy, and one night she goes, "Oh, my friend's coming round tonight. His name's Roy, and he's just got out of prison." And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
"Oh, you know," and we're like, "Well," because we used to think back where I was from, it was like if you'd been to prison, you were cool, you know.
Yeah, not cool. Not
I
cool.
know, but no guidance. We were like, "Oh yeah, you know." So anyway, he came round, and I thought he was a really good-looking guy, and he had a really cool car, and you know, and he was 10 years older than me. I was 17 at this point. And he came round, and we got very, very, very drunk, probably to the point of not being able to consent, and
Yeah.
had had sex with him. And to me, that's like, if you do that, you're giving yourself to someone, and we're in a relationship, right? So we're in a relationship, and I guess
Non-consent is non-consent, though.
yeah. So I guess he, this is where it gets a bit hazy. I guess he was love bombing me and stuff like that. I don't know. He was coming around and staying over, and then I was going and staying at his and things like that. And then I don't remember why, but the first time he hit me was at Trudy's house, and he punched me full in the face, and I'd never been hit in the face before, ever. And I just remember he did it, and then he just went, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," and immediately started saying sorry and please forgive me. And we were both crying, and and I forgave him, and I stayed with him. And you know,
First
I
shot
don't know.
towards,
Yeah,
but
there
you
was
just
this.
don't know.
Yeah,
But you don't know.
no, I forgave him. I thought, oh, he messed up. It won't happen again, and this, that, and the other. And so I ended up, he's love bombing me, I guess. And then I ended up moving in with him, and he lived in a
Isolation.
little cottage in the middle of
Isolation.
nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was literally, there was this big manor house, and then there was like these holiday cottages behind it. And this is back in the day. There was no mobile phones. It was pagers,
Oh, yeah.
The nearest town would have had to walk up like a country road. It would have taken me, I don't know, a couple of hours to get to the nearest town on foot. And I was just so in love with him. I was so obsessed and in love with him. And
Well, we can do the same old
I,
cliches. Empath, narcissist, the love bombing, the hovering, the isolation, the bite model, the entire thing. But
I didn't know
we
anything
know.
about this. I didn't know anything about this. I was just, I
Right.
guess, I don't know. He was 10 years older than me. I just thought he was the coolest thing. I thought he was funny. I look back now at his humor. He was actually pretty gross. But yeah, I was, yeah, I thought it was all exciting to me. I was running away with him. Like Trudy had said, like, what are you doing? And I'm just, oh, we're running away together, and so in love. And that's when things started to get worse. I found out that he was actually addicted to speed. He was doing it every day, not injecting or anything. He would just snort it. And I didn't know anything about drugs. All I knew about was weed and alcohol, from my mum and my stepdad. Yeah, I'll put that up again.
Sophia, what did Sophia just say?
Yeah, no,
the worst impact on children usually isn't by bad intent, but by lack of care and ignorance. If they act in bad intent, you can at least be mad at them without being gaslit for it. Yes.
That's it. And, I think, so it was a bit more about my mum. My mum, I love my mum. I was very angry with her. I didn't talk to her for a long time. But I do believe that she was a victim too. He was very manipulative. I know, like, I get that people would be like, oh, she was your mom, and she should have been protecting you.
But she was led a sheltered life.
And she's autistic as well. And I think, I don't know, but all I heard, the reason I moved out is because my sister, who was a year younger than me, I think she was either 14 or 15. Oh, and this is the other thing, his daughter my mum hated her for some strange reason, just hated her, and would hit her and just pick on her, like bully her. She was really childish with her, and she actually got put in foster care. Her father allowed her to be put in foster care.
Says what
So
kind
this
of
is
person he is. Maybe it
Yeah.
saved her.
I don't know, man. And so then my sister H, she was always running away from home, always. And my mum
That's
chucked her out. So she went in the YMCA. I don't know do you have YMCA there?
absolutely we do.
Like a hostel thing?
Saves
Yeah.
a lot
So
of children. Yeah.
Yeah. So she ended up there, and she ended up losing her virginity there when she was like, I don't know, 15 or something. She got pregnant when she was 17 with her 15-year-old boyfriend. So anyway, I'm with this guy. Things get progressively worse. He's on speed every day. He starts to get like really paranoid and accusing me of like cheating on him or messaging. No, it can't have been messaging because he was saying that I was paging, people were paging me. I remember going, I'm not, and being hysterical, like I would never do that to you. I love you. And I got a hammer and smashed my pager. Look, to prove it to you, I'm not doing anything. He'd go to work and he'd unplug the house phone and take it with him. He started becoming really controlling. Every time every time we went out, he was just on and on and on at me all the time, saying that I was if we went out, you were looking at that man over there, weren't you? And he started hitting me all the time, beating the crap out of me pretty much every day. There was something, and it just
Anybody
got
in the
worse
chat
and worse
or
and
anybody
worse.
listening this on replay, I keep repeating that for a reason, because she's lived it. She knows it.
It gets worse.
Isolation.
I'm sorry, guys.
If you find yourself in any type of problem, any type of relationship, any type of anything that causes you to be isolated from your loved ones or in your family and even your own self, get out and run.
It's actually the term cult can refer to relationships as well.
Yes, high control.
Yeah,
just run, because it's not going to get better. I promise that.
Yeah,
it's not.
So it gets worse. He starts, the paranoia and everything. I remember, so I got a job at like a service station, like cafe, but he would take me to work and pick me up because, he had to, because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Control.
And I really enjoyed the job and everything. And he started like getting paranoid every time I come home from there and saying I was sleeping with someone in the storeroom and all of this. And he turned up at my work with a bloody baseball bat. No, Jake, go away, please, darling. I'm sorry.
Hi, Jake. He's sweetheart.
Calm the cat on me. She probably wants to go out. Oh my god.
I love that kid. I love him.
No, I'm gonna let the cat out. It's just, I did.
Go ahead, T. Go ahead. Yeah, she looks so beautiful. She was doing her hair earlier. I really love this lady right here. I do. I truly love her. And she wanted to go to the back of her story when we first planned this, not just the now. That's why we did this. We were planning it for so long, and I really apologize for the audio issues earlier, because she needs it. See, Joe, I went through my childhood up till 9, hearing my dad with my mom. It's hard to get that power up to lead. Absolutely, it is. And it's easy for me to sit back here and say, get out, get out, get out. It's not that simple. But if you take that first step, the first step is the hardest. And once you can take that first step, you can get out of there.
Okay.
Brian says, my ex-wife only hit me once, more of a slap, really. The next time she tried, I blocked it. By the end of the year, we were divorced. I never laid a finger on her in anger. Yes, women and men both can. Brian, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So it gets worse. He gets more and more controlling, to the point where if we ever went out, I would never look up. I was always down like that, too scared to look up. I lost my job because of it, because he went up there carrying on and shouting at the manager. Never hit the manager, though, funnily enough. He was starting to talk to people. Sorry?
No, I was telling Selena, yes. Cult of personality, as in just a family situation. Yes.
Yeah. I'd lost touch with my family. He was controlling that as well. He started talking to people online, like girls online. And I don't know if anyone remembers ICQ Messenger.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that. And Yahoo Chat and
Do we have to
stuff
show
like
our
that.
age
So
here, T?
it's before mobiles. There was still no mobile phones. It's in the 90s, the late 90s. Yeah, so he was like, he'd be talking to these women and calling them, and he was like being so sweet to them and then like getting sexual with them. And there's me, like, and I'd have black eyes and bruises all over me, sitting there, not allowed to talk. And if I talked, you know, he'd give me that look. And he's on the phone to another woman in front of me, you know, like what the hell?
I'm so sorry to say this, but that is like you're the textbook of that type of relationship.
Yeah. So it
And
got
that's-
worse.
I'm
It's
so
like
sorry.
every time we go out in the car, like he was just constantly on my case. Every time we go out in the car, he would be elbowing me, like really, really hard, elbowing me to the point where I don't know if you can see it in this light, but I actually have
Yes, I can see that right there.
I
Absolutely.
have a permanent patch.
Yes, go to World Grand
So
Rising.
it's bruised all the time, all the time.
Yeah.
I also have like a half of that eyebrow. I don't know if it's
Yes.
is a scar.
Right there.
Because
See it.
one day he was punching me in the side of the head so much, you know, and I'd put my hand up and I had a ring and the ring went into my head, you know. So every freaking day I draw half an eyebrow on. Well, I draw them on now, but normally I need to get them tattooed again, but it costs money.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm not about that.
it got worse and worse and worse. It started to get to you know, the two boyfriends I'd had before were both virgins. This was a
Right.
guy that was 10 years older than me, who had a lot of experience and you know,
Yeah,
did things
you were his fuel.
that I
You were his
really
fuel.
want to do, you know, or wasn't
Yeah.
prepared for, or, you know, and
No, I'm
a lot
sorry,
of the
T.
time, yeah, I mean, a lot of the time I don't know if I can go into so much detail about it.
You only do what you're comfortable doing. We can do a part 2 on that side of it when you're ready. I only want
Well,
you to say
it's-
what you're comfortable saying.
I don't know. It's a lot.
Because your mind's only going to be able to process so much of this. We only have so much bandwidth. So I was prepared already to probably have to.
I
go
just
into
blurt
too
it
much
out.
about
I think I just blurt it out.
Okay,
Oh fuck! I didn't know it was going to be this hard.
it's okay. And you know that you have so many people that there's my trauma. She'll help.
All right, honey. First, your story is amazing.
Shit! I can always tell it without crying, and now I'm starting to cry.
Hey. No, it's all good. Crying is healing, okay? There's nothing wrong with that, okay? You don't know my story.
I'll
You
just
don't
say
know
it. It's
me.
okay. I'll say it. So
Just
he started
Take a
raping
breath,
me.
honey.
There you go. I got it out.
Okay.
He
Thank you.
started raping me. He was a massive martial arts enthusiast. He was obsessed with Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and all this, and he had all these weapons. He had like freaking ninja stars and a triple nunchuck and all sorts of stuff. He was I don't know, he just started getting really sick and weird. And I mean, I'm not going to go into too much detail about the sexual stuff.
I like
But
what
yeah,
Literal said. Tears are okay because it releases us from the pain.
yeah,
You've been
yeah.
holding that, like you said, that's the first time you've really cried. Let yourself.
I've talked
because that's
about it. I
released.
mean, I've talked about it. I have talked about it, but I've never talked about it going right from the childhood, and because that's what I want to share when I get to the end of this, what I've learned, you know, because I think it's really valuable.
You just got such insight. You're so strong.
By the
I have
way,
a huge interest in mental health, and when I get myself a bit more sorted, I do actually want to study and help others.
Yes.
But
we
yeah,
match, by the way,
you
with
know,
the scars right here, sweetheart.
yeah.
One on each, but I got one on each side. So
So you're
Yeah.
never alone in this world, T. Never.
No, I
There's
know,
always,
and that's what I
and
love.
you
I
touch
mean,
so many people because your story is going to matter. It does matter. It's going to touch so many. And that's why I'm thankful for you to be so vulnerable on here because your story matters.
I didn't think I would cry. But,
Obviously, if
you know,
she
I
got my lazy butt out of bed at 5 a.m. when I was supposed to be
I'm sorry.
offline
I
today and
appreciate
writing
everyone
and
getting up so
editing.
early. Like, geez. I
No,
feel very
because you
special at the
matter.
moment.
See, that's
I
because you
feel very
matter.
special. I feel very loved. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard. Like, so you know, so we did everything that you could imagine. Like, there was stuff I didn't want to do things, you know, and I
Right.
was made to do
No
things I
con-
didn't want to do.
No consent,
Um,
and he's got control over everything.
yeah, in
Yeah.
every way, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
So, and he would he would meet up with these girls and sleep with them. He would do really gross stuff, man. Like, he'd sleep with these girls and then come back and describe to me in detail how it was, how good it was, you know, this, that, and the other. And there was one time where this is really gross. I'm sorry, guys.
No, say it. We're here for you.
He came home. He came home and told me to sniff his,
Yeah.
you know,
But
like
that's what they do.
crazy
Unfortunately.
shit. Yeah.
No, it's to humiliate you, to make you something even worse,
Yeah.
lower so you won't leave. You
Yeah.
were his personal, whatever he needed.
He could do whatever he wanted with me. I was totally cut
Yeah.
off. And, you know, I didn't speak to my family. I don't know.
That
Oh,
is,
sorry, Crystal. I just read. Oh, and then she came on. Sorry, I'm just reading the private messages.
that's typical.
Yeah, it's you know, where were my family? You know, it's only when it got really, really bad. Like, I think, how did it even get back? So there's times like, you know, I wanted to escape. There was one time I remember I just couldn't take anymore. You know, he'd gone out to the shops or something, and I didn't know where I was going to go or whatever. And I went and I thought maybe I'll go to the manor house and talk to the people, see if they can get me some help or something. I just, you know, but I was so terrified of him, so incredibly terrified. And I think that because he was on drugs as well, I thought, oh, you know, he's ill, he's got this problem, and I love him so much. I want to help him, and maybe one day, you know, I'll wake up and everything will be okay, and I'll be here for him. I'm not going to give up on him. I'm not going to leave him. You know, that obsession. You know. And
okay, so at this point, T, I'm gonna take a guess. I wasn't there. Please don't. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm just trying to.
No, it's okay.
I process too like this, and especially when I'm talking. You were not at that point in love anymore. I don't believe you were conditioned. This is how you were conditioned. So there was you didn't have that frame of thought.
I'll get to that in a minute as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, definitely. And he had this went on. So I was with him for 3 years. You know,
Yeah,
I was 17. I was 17 and he was 27. You know, he'd take me to his friends' houses and tell me to lie and pretend that I was 18 and all of this. And like he would go to his drug dealer's house and I'd have to sit outside the car sometimes for hours while he's sitting there having a good time with them. And I don't know what he was doing there. I never went inside this house and met this person, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, one night, I don't know, he went to the shops or something and I left the house and it was dark. It was nighttime and I didn't know where I was going to go. And I thought, like, I hid. I don't know why. I hid in these bushes outside and, you know, I heard him coming back in the car and it was a Sierra 4x4. I don't know if that means anything to anyone. It was like it was a souped up car with the lowered and the lights, and he had like the number plate with italic writing just to be a prick to the police or whatever, you know, like he was just a dickhead.
Of course.
Heard him driving back normally, went into the cottage, saw that I wasn't there, gets back into the car, and I hear him going up and down this, like, this big long driveway that went down to he was going up and down there like a banshee, and I was absolutely shitting myself. I was like, what am I going to do? If he gets me now, he's going to be so angry, so incredibly angry. I was terrified. I was scared for my life, you know?
And did that take you hiding? I mean, did you hide there?
I was hiding. Yeah, I was hiding in the bushes. Yeah. But you know, because I've missed out that he used to like just for no reason at all in the middle of the night, he would get me out of bed, take me in the car, drive me down a country lane, and just like be doing the elbowing thing the whole way there, and then just chuck me out of the car, and then get a baseball bat out of the boot, and just
Jesus
beat the crap out of me
Christ.
with this bloody baseball bat, like for no reason, you know, just because he had some paranoid
See,
thought going on,
I-
like just
I'm
bad
sorry.
shit, you know. So it's okay. So anyway, he was going up and down like a banshee, and I was absolutely crapping myself. And I think he must have thought, well, she's not walking along the road anywhere. Maybe she's around here somewhere. I don't know. So he got out of the car and he's calling out my name and everything, like angry. And then like after a while, he changed his tone and he pretended to like, he was like, oh, you know, pretended to cry and was saying,
Oh
you know,
God.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you. Please come out. I promise I'll change. Da 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 da. All this. And so me being stupid, I came out.
No, you aren't
Yeah.
stupid.
Well, you know, and he full on ninja kicked me in the face and absolutely
Ooh.
battered the crap out of me. He cracked my ribs. He wouldn't let me go to hospital. He would never take me to hospital. Yeah, and you know, and the more this happened, the more terrified of him I would become, and the more trapped I become, the more into myself. Like I didn't even know who the hell I was anymore. He had control of my mind completely. And I think my
Absolutely.
family must have, yeah, I think something happened. So with my family, I think my grandparents or something. Oh no, he was always trying to get money. He was like asking me to get money from my family and stuff like that. My
Sophia,
mum,
yes, that's right. You're right.
what's that?
Sophia
Yeah,
says you were conditioned for emotional
yeah,
manipulation.
but yeah. So anyway, my mum tried to rescue me once. She
Oh,
drove. She
really?
came up. Yeah, so she came up, and what was that after? Yeah,
Absolutely, Crystal. Yep.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I see that now. But yeah, my mum tried to rescue me once. I think it was after. I don't know. Anyway, she tried to rescue me. I put all my stuff in the car to go with her and stuff. She started going down the driveway, and I jumped out of the car and I ran back to him. You know, I had
Because that's
Stockholm
all you were
full on,
conditioned to know. I
but
mean,
it was Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm
yes,
syndrome.
exactly.
You
That's
know,
exactly right.
the psych told me this later on. You know, and I was sympathizing with him, and you know, it was just ridiculous. So, my mum gave me like a calling card because there was like this phone box in this like laundry room or something. I don't know, and it was like if I called her, then she would get charged or something like that. I don't know. And he used it all up, and he so rang up like a $400 bill on my mum's account and everything, and then she came around and had a go at me and slapped me round the face, you know.
Damn it.
And I'm like, I
Oh
didn't
my
have any
God.
choice. It was like this pin number. It was this pin number to activate it, and you know, he just beat the shit out of me until I give him the number. Like he wouldn't stop. You know, so I
See,
had to give it to him, and she, you know, she was angry at me, and I don't know, she maybe didn't understand, or I don't know.
no, well, I'm gonna hold that one. I'm not your therapist. I'm gonna hold my mouth shut.
I know now, like I
Okay.
know why. I guess I allowed this to happen. I don't know, and I
You
will.
did
No, I
not
don't. I
allow
don't.
this.
But I will. I will again. I'll get to that later because I think it's important to show what I've learned, you know, and why and stuff.
Absolutely, it is. But you didn't allow that to happen.
No, I didn't. I was a child, you know,
That's
but
right.
um, you're not seen as a child in the UK at the age of 17. When
Oh,
you
really?
turn
I did not know
16,
that.
pretty much 16,
Okay.
you're allowed to move out by yourself. So,
Okay.
and my mum was always saying to all of us kids, "Oh, wait till you're 16 and you can move out." You know, so
Oh,
she,
wow.
one of them got put in foster care when she was 14. You know, that's what we heard constantly. And I don't know if she was saying it in a joking way, but you know, so one got in foster care when she was 14. My sister left when she was 15, and I left just before I was 16 before I got kicked out. You know, and it was as soon as you're 16 years old, you're put on the council house waiting list for state housing. You know,
God,
all of us. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So it's all right. Anyway, it got worse and worse and worse. It got to the point where like he was, I don't know where it came from, but he got this kitten and he started abusing the kitten. Like,
No,
he
in
was,
fact, those are three. You've already mentioned the three.
he was a psychopath. He was torturing this kitten. And I remember my mum came round once, and this poor kitten was pretty much like on its, you know, and this
Yeah.
it always makes me cry when I talk about the
I
kitten.
can't. This is part of, yeah. I understand.
Yeah, the kitten wasn't well, and my mum came round, and my mum cried, you know, and I had to lie and say, oh, she's just got the flu or something, you know.
But, you know, you're speaking now, and this is what matters right here and now. You're
Yeah.
healing yourself with the tears, but you're speaking out your truth, and this is going to
I'm
have
never going to cry.
I'm
Jesus.
crying. I always cry. It's
I
right
haven't
about
seen you
the
before. I didn't see you cry
kid.
before, sorry.
What's wrong with
Yeah.
me?
Anyway, I won't talk about that anymore. That's really horrible. But I just wanted to show what a psychopath he is. So anyway, eventually we got chucked out of there. Oh, he slept with a woman 4 doors down as well. I caught him with her. Anyway.
But they don't care at that point.
Yeah, I know. So we got chucked out of there because of all the noise and the violence and stuff. And we had to go and live with his mum. And he allowed me to have a job while we were living at his mum's because he timed how long it would take me. Like, he walked with me from their house to work, and he timed exactly how long it took. And if I took a minute longer or a minute less, I get a beating, you know. So it was this job. It was in a supermarket, and it was you had to come in early at like 4 a.m. and put all the magazines out, do all the newspaper stuff. I don't know. And at this point, I was so like deathly thin. I was really, really thin. I wasn't really eating because he was spending all the money on drugs. Like, his addiction got worse and worse and worse the whole time we were together. And
your needs were met, like even your basic human to stay alive needs were getting less and less and less, I'm sure.
yeah,
Like the
yeah.
supplies, yes, yeah.
I remember another point of manipulation or just like mind fuck games was he used to take me out, and it was like very childlike. He would go, I think must have been when he was on a come down. I recognize that now, but at the time I didn't know what a come down. I didn't really understand drugs. So he would take us out. He'd go, come on, let's go and get some wheats. He had really silly names for things. He'd, you know, I don't know, he'd go, let's go get some wheaties, like that. Because we call them sweets.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call them, sweets when you go to the shop and get loads of candy, I suppose you call it. And we just go and get like pick and mix and just spend like loads of money on loads and loads of sweets, and we just sit there and scoff all these sweets together and watch
Because when
movies.
you're coming down off of drugs like that, the sugar helps control those the withdrawal and the shakes and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Those are my favorite times because it was like I'd get cuddles all day on the sofa and we'd watch movies together. But then sometimes he'd go, come on, let's go and get some wheats. He'd go there and he'd buy himself sweets, not me. And then he'd take me home and sit there and eat them all in front of me.
In front of you. Yeah, it's because he's taking your behavior, your emotional, your thought, and your emotional. He's controlling it all. There's the bite model, guys. If you listen to T, that's the
so messed up. Yeah, so messed up. Yeah, the munchies, Joe. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, we're living at his mum's. He, you know, timed how long it took me to walk from work and back. And yeah. And at this point, he was also sleep depriving me. He started sleep depriving me. We were in the room next to his mum and partner and her partner or husband, sorry. And he would be off his face all night, and he would just keep me awake all night to the point where I'm so exhausted. I'm crying. I'm like, please let me sleep, you know?
Do you understand why he did that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all control and all just, I know that now.
You starve somebody, you sleep deprive them. Much easier to control.
We had a dog, right? And it got to the point where, like, you know, every now and then he'd be like, right, we're going around your mum's, because my mum always used to have a big sack of potatoes. And I'd like, he'd go, you know, get some potatoes. I'd nick a few potatoes. We'd have potatoes and gravy, and the dog would lick the plate. That's what we ate.
Wow.
The poor dog, you know? So it was a bit better at his mum's because we'd get dinner, you know?
Right?
Yeah. And it's like when I'm crying and everything, trying, like, so sleep deprived, so mentally exhausted. I was so tired. I just wanted to go to sleep because I had work. It was getting to the point where it was like 2 hours till work at 4 a.m. You know, and I'd be crying, and I'd have his mum banging on the wall telling me to shut. You know, she didn't
Well, she
care.
raised that. I'm sorry. To me, it seems like she raised that.
I don't know. Yeah, what did his mum think? Yeah, so his mum the sun shone out of his ass. That was her boy. Yeah. She had 2 boys. The other one, his brother was a heroin addict, you know. And she used to
she enabled that.
Well, she cried a couple of times and said, oh, I don't know what I've done wrong with my boys, you know. I loved them. I've always been so loving to them, and then they end up being like this, you know. And his
I don't
his
know.
brother
Go
was
look
a
in the
heroin
mirror,
addict and
dude.
died. He died from heart failure due to the drugs, you know. And even Roy would exploit his brother. He'd get him going out stealing car stereos and give him drugs for it, you know, so that he can have like this awesome sound system in his car. Like he was just the most. Anyway, so I'm going to work and everything, and I was so pale and thin and going in with no sleep. I had these big bags under my eyes and everything, and I was working next to the kiosk, and there was this I was working on the kiosk. I had to serve customers, you know. So this
That's a saving grace
other
sometimes.
hey,
That can be your
What-
saving grace sometimes.
it was for a hot minute, but yeah. Because I go to work and he would randomly pop in without telling me, so I never knew when he was going to turn up. He'd come in to check up on me to see if I was talking to any males or looking at anyone, you know. So I was constantly on edge, too scared to talk to anyone. And every day, one of the staff members, when he finished at like 6 o'clock in the morning or something, he'd come up and he had these most beautiful blue, like crystal blue eyes that you could just get lost in. It's absolutely stunning eyes. And he'd always say, "Oh, hey, how are you? Good morning," and all of this. And I would just be like, you know, not looking up at him or anything, you know, too scared, too terrified in case he would be across
You
the
were
room
being
and clock.
watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Constantly in fear, you know. He ran up a bloody phone bill under my name. So he started the financial abuse, right? So he ran up a phone bill, an internet bill under my name for £4,000.
Holy
Which is
moly.
Yeah, it's probably like, I don't know, $7,000 or something like that. I
Holy
don't know.
shit.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. So one day I think I just had enough, and I said hello back to this boy. I think he was 19 and I was 17. No, 18. I was 18. He was 19. And his name was Wayne. And we started talking and everything, and he was so sweet. And I ended up confiding in him, and I told him what was going on. And he was like, "I can help you. I'll help you escape," you know? And I was just so scared. And this went on for months. I was too bloody scared. And something must have happened. I had enough. And one day I said, "Yeah, okay, let's do it." Right? So
That's what you have to do.
well,
right.
yeah.
You
It's
have
like,
to have enough, though.
there's more, right? So anyway, so we made a
Yes,
plan,
Sophie, I would agree.
and his mum knew that so I was going to go to work as normal or whatever. And then I can't remember what's going to happen, but I think I was going to pop back. Like, so Roy would have been at work, and I was going to pop back, get my stuff, and then get a taxi and meet up with Wayne. And we did it, right? And so we went and stayed and slept in his friend's barn for a week. Didn't tell anyone else, you know, so that he wouldn't find us. But he was quite smart. So he got home from work, realized I wasn't there. And he did, I don't know if you have it in America, where you can go on the phone and you can press it was like 1471, and it will tell you the last number dialed.
Oh, yes.
And
We used to
he
do
did
that. I don't know if they still do that, but I remember that. Yeah, you could get the last number dialed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he did that, and he saw it was a taxi.
I'm sorry,
and then that was
medication
it.
time.
Yeah. It's all right. Yeah, so he knew it was a taxi. So he knew his mum was involved, and he went absolutely mental at his mum. He smashed all her front room windows. He went at her with 2 kitchen knives and threatened to kill her.
Holy shit.
So she got him arrested. And then he was in jail on remand and everything. And so he went to prison for 2 weeks. And I ended up moving in with my sister. She was in this house for young people or something. I don't know. And he wrote me letters from prison saying how sorry he was, how he loved me, how being in prison made him
Brian, star
change.
69.
Yeah. All of this stuff that he's changed, and he's never going to hit me again, and all of this crap.
Such bullshit, dude. God. These people.
Well, I fell for it. I got back with him.
We all. So have we all.
You know.
You're not alone.
You know, and so went back with him, and then we ended up living with his dad, who was like, I don't know, in his 70s, a little old man. Before that we didn't have anywhere to go. We slept in his car for 3 weeks. Then we went to his dad's, and then we got our own, like, and at his dad's house we were sleeping in his lounge room, you know, and he was beating me again. He could hear him beating me through the walls and tell me to shut up, you know. Again, his dad just, you know, can you keep the noise down, knocking on the wall and stuff. Then we got our own place. We got our own place around the corner. And again, I met, so there was a neighbor downstairs. What happened? There was a lady who lived downstairs, and I think she had a baby, and she had a couple of young girls used to go around there. They were like 13 or something. 12 and 13, yeah. And he's still on the drugs. He's still like worse than ever. Still cheating on me and stuff like that, and all of that. Still the R wording and just
now he's grooming for younger. It seems like now it's
So we kind of like make friends with the people downstairs, and you know, I made friends with the girls. And one day they went up there, and I was downstairs talking to the older lady, and they came running down, and they were like, "Oh my God, you know, Roy just showed us a picture of his doodle on the computer." Yeah. And then he said, and then he asked if he could see their what's-its. And we were just like, what the actual, you know, because that's taking it to another level, you know?
My son's coming up. I'm sorry, I had to turn the light and fix mine.
It's all right. Like young girls, that's not okay, you know?
No, it's not okay.
So,
but it wasn't okay for you either, though.
No. So Christy was the name of the girl downstairs. Her ex, I'd made friends with as well, and he said, "Look, I'll help you escape." So I did it again. I left again and stayed in a hotel room with this guy, but he took advantage of my vulnerability, I guess, and I ended up, or maybe that, and the fact that I guess that I'd kind of been conditioned to it was almost like I'm obliged to sleep with people. Do you know what I mean? Like that's my way, or my way of feeling validated or something. I don't know, but I ended up
validation because you weren't taught you weren't taught any of the steps to care. You've been in therapy. Okay, so
drank a lot of vodka, ended up sleeping with him. And I remember we were staying at this what they call a travel lodge, and we were staying there, and I remember looking out the window because it was at a service station, like a bloody petrol station. I remember looking out once, and I saw Roy filling up his bloody car outside the window. Like I was absolutely terrified, you know, like you get that horrible feeling. So what happened then? I think something happened. He found me? I can't remember how he found me. I can't remember how he got me back, but he found me and he forced me to come back with him. And at this point, like, he kept me hostage. He told me that there were people watching the house. So it's a really derogatory term now. I don't know if it was then, it probably was, but people used to call like gypsy traveler pikeys. It's a derogatory term for how would you explain it? I don't know, but they're kind of like, a lot of people are scared of them. They have a lot of them have, some of them, I don't want to stereotype people. Anyway, the people
tell
from
your
his
story.
town,
you know what? Tell your story. I don't care.
Well, there was people from his
if it offends
town.
anybody, we're going to tell T's story.
Yeah.
Okay,
They weren't Romanies. No, they were more. That's another bit I missed out. There was a friend. Sorry, I'll go back a little bit. So I had one friend that I made. That Roy sort of allowed me to be friends with, this lady called Tina, and she had a traveler husband, and he was a roofer. A lot of them are roofers, and do driveways and stuff. And I believe he murdered her. I would go around there, and she was divorced from him, and he was really abusive and stuff like that. And she was found on the floor, on a kitchen floor, and they said it was an overdose. But I know for a fact she didn't do drugs, And then I was working on the deli and he came into my work and started shouting at me, where's the money and where's this, that, and the other? And I'm like, I don't know anything, man. You know, like it was really weird.
Right.
But so I was scared of the traveler people because of him, but also like Roy was friends with some really dodgy people that had guns and stuff, you know, and guns are illegal in the UK. And it was just, you know, so he told me they were watching the house. He go, let's see that car over there. You know, they're sitting there and they're watching you. And
He
I was
had
so
you controlled of fear. I mean, he
I was
controlled every
so
aspect.
terrified.
Yeah.
I heard the letterbox going one day and I hid under the bed for the rest of the day. I was too scared to move. I didn't want them to know I was there. You know, so like again, like high alert, constant fear.
This is not okay.
Yeah. So, and you know, it was still going on with the R word and stuff like that. They weren't Irish. I don't know.
We'll
They used to
figure
wear
it out.
the big gold clown necklaces and the big earrings and stuff like that. Yeah. Sorry, keep with the trigger warnings because
No,
so
okay, tell your story. We've got this. You've got this.
so he was still cheating on me and stuff like that. And then one day he went out and he slept with someone else. And no, what happened? One day he beat me up, and then he said how much he enjoyed it and showed me how aroused he was, and yeah, told me to. Oh, it's gross, man. Sorry.
It's okay, T. Hey.
Basically said, come and sit on it, and you know, obviously I didn't want to, and he forced me to, which is just really fucked up. Like, after you've just beaten someone up, that's really messed up, you know, like really messed up.
But you have been going through this. That's all. It's a repetitive cycle.
Yeah,
and
3 years.
At
Yeah,
the end, I know that you're going to bring it all together, but it is a repetitive cycle until you choose to break it. Because they're not going to break it until they break
all
you.
right. I'm going to finish with the Roy stuff, right? So basically, how I got out of that was so like I say, his dad was living around the corner. I'd had enough. I mean, I'd had enough a long time ago, but I don't know. His dad. So at this point, obviously, like when I left with Wayne, I lost the job at the supermarket. Couldn't go back there. Somehow he found out about Wayne and he got a photo of him. I think Wayne's ex-girlfriend lived downstairs from us or above us or something. I came home one day from work, right? Because he let me have a job at the hotel in my hometown because his dad would drive me to and from work, right? And one day I got home from work and he's holding up a picture of Wayne's face and he goes,
"Holy shit.
Who's this guy? Know him, do you?" And I'm like, what the hell, you know? Like, it was really creepy, stuff like that. So anyway, I was working at this hotel. I used to have to put like, I totally forgot to tell you all about body image as well, which was really important when I was younger. Can I skip back to that?
What is it called? What is it called?
Like body image stuff when I was younger. I don't know if it was. Yeah, so because due to the bullying, sorry, I'll skip back to my childhood. Due to the bullying about being too skinny, when I was younger, I just remembered there's so many things that I probably missed out.
It's okay. It's going to come up in waves, and you talk about it when you remember.
Yeah, I used to wear 7 pairs of leggings to make my legs look fatter. Like the point where it was so tight, like I felt like my circulation was cut off and stuff like that. And I used to wear long jackets all the time, just trying to make myself look bigger. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there because I remembered.
No, but
yeah, he was always telling me, yeah, Chris. So he was always telling me I was ugly. I don't know, called me all sorts of weird names and stuff. He did some really gross stuff that I won't go into because it's just really bizarre and gross. He was just like psychotic, like gross things. So yeah. Anyway, so
unfortunately, I'm going to tell you he wasn't psychotic. I'm just a guess. This is all part of who they are. That is them. And it's their normal.
The thing with the animals, I wanted to say, because you know, like people that are like actual, I've got blue hands, sorry, I've dyed my hair. Where people have ended up being psychopathic killers and stuff, they would torture animals in their youth, or
there's a triad
like that. It starts reminding me of that.
So it's obsession of fires, it's peeing the bed, and it's abusing animals. There's your triad. That makes your psychopath right there.
Okay, yeah. Oh look, no, I'm not discriminating against any group. I'm just saying what he used to call them. He used to call them pikeys, which I think is really offensive.
And I did say a while ago, I did say trigger warning that she's not trying to offend anyone. This is her story.
I appreciate their culture and everything. And there's bad apples in every group, So but I'm
No,
not.
this
I'm
is
not.
just your story. You're not here to
There's a lot
dog
of stuff that
anybody.
goes around about them and stuff. It's just yeah. So
And honestly, guys, on my channel, people are used to it. This is what I do.
okay. Cool.
You don't know me, but I am actually a personality recovery specialist, a domestic abuse awareness author, speaker, and survivor. So,
Yeah,
Well, I'm glad to meet you. I have seen you
divine
before.
intervention. Divine intervention.
Yeah.
You owe me, Kay. You owe me, honey.
I'm sorry.
Chapters. No, I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
We have to break up some of this stuff too, T, because you've got like this. You've got to be able to laugh and smile. You cannot, I mean, I know that you lived it, but telling it is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of why I jumped in for a second, to give a little mental health break.
Yes.
What my buddy that created my opening, whenever he does his lives on LinkedIn, with subjects like these, each of his guests, he puts together a mental health break video for them.
Okay.
In fact, mine is from him is actually on my channel, but I won't use it because Misha or Keela's channel is monetized and mine is not.
Yeah, so it's T's. So
the song for my mental health break is
like copyright kind of thing.
Yeah, it is, because it's This Is Me from Greatest Showman. But it's an amazing video. But he always does like a mental health break, and he makes an amazing video of his co-hosts and stuff. But yeah.
We can just, I mean, because I know that we sit here and talk.
Yeah.
Take us a break.
I'm all right. I think my ADHD just wants to get it all out. But if people need a break, I'm happy to stop.
Honestly,
no, I don't want you to stop. No.
If you want to
do you need something to drink? And if you want to keep going, I'm here for you the whole time. I told you I don't know how long it takes.
I mean, this is what I do.
Still so much. Maybe I'll have to do a.
No, we may have to do a part 2 to bring it all together, because
oh my gosh, it's been like 2 hours, hasn't it?
Yes.
Oh no, it's an hour for the technical difficulties, but yeah, I don't know. So so basically, anyway, I decided I wanted to leave him, like, finally, for the last bloody time. It had been 3 years at this point. Me and his dad hatched a plan. So I was working at a hotel, and I remember always having bruises on my arms and legs and having to cover them up with makeup and stuff like that. And I befriended some Portuguese girls. Yeah, it's all right. For me, it's weird because when I'm telling the story, this was talking like 20 odd years ago now. But it's amazing how something that happened so long ago can still affect you, decades
Absolutely,
on.
every day.
Every
day.
Yeah.
It shapes who we are inside.
Yeah. It does.
Absolutely.
I'm working at this hotel. I made friends with these Portuguese girls. That's how I can speak some Portuguese. And so he would always take all my wages off me. He'd take all my money. But he didn't know that I was getting tips. So when you clean the room, people will leave like a couple of dollars or whatever, a couple of pound coins. So I was giving that to these Portuguese girls, and they were saving it up for me. And his dad was helping me like get a few things every time, like my passport and stuff. They looked after it, and a few items of clothing and stuff like that.
So you began that
with the help of these girls, who I'm still friends with to this day.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So I did it. Yeah, it was just like something out of a movie, isn't it?
Let me ask you this. I do want to go back. Yeah. How scared were you? What were the feelings, or what were the feelings you were having whenever you took that step to get out?
Oh, I was so terrified he was going to find out, like absolutely petrified, almost like being under that bed hiding again. I was just always
to hear this, please.
Yeah, I was always in a state of fear, and then when I was going to get caught out or whatever, but then when I was on that airplane and I was on the bloody runway, and I remember taking off and thinking, just bawled my eyes out. I was like, I'm free. Oh my God, I'm free. So
everybody that is in a high control situation or a high controlled abusive relationship It can be done. I know it's hard, but we can do hard things. It can be done and lives can be saved. And
But you
she is
have to
the
do it.
epitome of it.
It's almost like an addiction. It's like, people try to help me and I went back and stuff like that. And I think I don't know, if you get to your limit,
You do.
Statistically, it takes 7 times to get out fully.
There you go.
Okay. So how many times is that now? So, well, the ones
A
my
lot.
mum tried to help me, I don't know. It's like 3, that was the 3rd time, I think, wasn't it? It
You
was in
you
rain
ran,
and then
you hid.
that I left and went back. So I'd left and gone back twice already. And it's like, so I had that feeling when I took off and everything. But then when I got to Portugal and I was staying with my friend's house, like I stayed out there for a few months, and I still felt like I was in love with him. I still felt like, oh, maybe I should send him a postcard. Like, what the hell, Like,
Zero
still had that
contact, darling.
control
Zero
over me.
contact.
Yeah, he still had that control over me. I didn't though, and
That's good.
so yeah, and then ended up going back home and started my life again. And yeah, so I cut a
Okay,
long
so
story
when you
short.
when you say started your life again, can we start there right now? What exactly did you do? What steps did you take to start your life? Not the one you had, your life.
Well, oh my gosh, where did I go? I think I must have gone back to my mum's. No, how old was I? So I would have been nearly 20.
Mhm.
I didn't want to go back to my mum's. My mum and stepdad had broken up at this point. He had his own place. I think I went to London actually. I remember what was that another time? Oh my God, it's so hazy.
No, it's okay.
I went to
That's why I was
London.
asking.
Yeah, I flew to London and I was like, I'm just going to wing it and try and find some work in London. I just remember I must have been, I don't know. I remember just walking the streets of London, trying to find a job, going around all the hotels.
Right.
And then I remember my 21st birthday. I remember staying in this really disgusting seedy hotel because I didn't have any money, And I remember not being able to find any work, and it was my 21st birthday and crying in the cubicle of the public toilets in Victoria Station on my birthday, on my 21st, And I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to go home, aren't I? So my mum, I think I went and stayed with my stepdad.
Okay.
And he was like, he got so bad with his drinking. I had to phone an ambulance for him a few times where he collapsed and, his organs were starting to go.
So he wasn't
and
the
then
big scary monster that was going to hurt you anymore.
Yeah, I know. I guess so. And
And
then
I'm saying
I think I
like
got,
the one that was in your past that you knew before
well,
you left.
I was never, I don't know, it was weird. I was never scared of him. I thought he was an idiot, but I was
Right?
never scared of him. I didn't feel scared of him.
That's good.
I was angry with him, more angry.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, and then I ended up getting my own flat because I'd been on that list, like I said, the council list for the state
Yes.
housing. So I got my own place. So I had my own little place, and I just ended up going out drinking all the time. And I was very active with men. I thought that I could take my power back and maybe I could use men. Doesn't work like that, though.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's what you knew. That was your default. You're not wrong. Don't
Yeah,
ever.
that's-
So many
That's what I knew, and
survivors. In fact, Keela helped me edit a chapter exactly about that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you know
You
what?
weren't wrong, T.
We will call today even for all the work you did on that chapter for me. How about that? You saved my butt on that one. No.
You're a legend, Crystal. Yeah.
Thank you, Crystal.
So we will call this morning even because of all that work you did on that one for me. So-
No problem. Anytime. T, you are not wrong. Okay, I want you to understand that this was not your fault. I know that you've already been through therapy. I know, but this is me as a friend. Okay, forget all that. This is a friend.
Yeah.
You were not wrong. You did what you
No,
had to do to survive, and you know what you
Yeah, and
did it.
But it's really weird because I felt like I was kind of obliged to sleep with these guys. And I remember being so drunk. I was drinking a lot, all through my 20s. I was drinking and partying and somehow managed to get through college as well. But, I had a friend that was younger than me, and she was like my best friend for 7 years. So I thought she was. But this is why I think I started, I don't know. I've always talked out about my abuse with Roy, and I would talk to her about it, and I would talk to anyone. I just wanted someone to listen. And
Right.
she would just say, "Oh, shut up," like, why do you always have to make your life harder than someone else's and all of this,
Because your
and
life matters. That's why.
I just, yeah, she's like, "Oh, you're ruining the vibe and all this." And, I look back now and there were so many things that she did. She was very controlling as a friend, She was 18 and I was, 22 or something like that,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it back then, and I realize that now.
You're so worth everything.
Thanks. I know.
You
But yeah,
are.
so anyway, long story short, right? So I went on to have 2 more abusive relationships. Not as long or as bad as that, but abusive nevertheless. I had a bloke who actually broke I've got scarring on the like scar tissue, like right on my nose. Like if sometimes my son will be play fighting or whatever and he bangs me on it, really hurts.
Yeah.
I just remember him beating me to the ground once, and there was a witness, and he came along, and he ran away, and then I just remember walking me to the phone box to phone the police, and I couldn't even dial the numbers. I must have been concussed or something. That was for 10 months. A lot of trauma was triggered by him because he went to prison and he threatened to burn my house down, and he said he was going to burn the house down. I had his dog, and so I put a bucket of water in front of my letterbox, because the letterboxes are in the door in England,
Right.
they post the mail straight into the house. So I'd have a bucket of water in front of my letterbox in case he was going to burn the house down, and I remember having this real like when you have a dream and it feels like you're in half awake and half asleep. And I remember, do you know the movie Dusk Till Dawn, right? And there's this horrible bit. I used to love that movie. There's this horrible bit in it where there's one of the vampires is eating this guy, and his bottom half of his body is missing, and he's going along like this on the floor with all these entrails hanging out and stuff, right? I had this horrible dream that it was him, and he'd got into the house. I couldn't go to sleep at night. I'd hear noises downstairs and thinking it was him, because I didn't know when he was getting out of prison. And so I was always again on this high alert of fear. God, talking about this has actually made me realize how much of my time I was in constant fear. I was in constant fear.
That's what you were groomed to be. It was a fear-based control, perfect example, bite model, that everything was controlled. And how do you control someone? Fear, starvation.
I didn't realize how much fear I'd been through, and it's weird because now I don't fear anything. I've got no fear. It's like I've become numb.
And here we go. What you went through this time made you stronger for the next time, for the next step. And now look at you. You're a goddess and a warrior.
Thanks. I don't know. I've been isolating for the last 3 years, which I'm really pissed off about, But yeah, anyway, so I had this nightmare, and it was like I was frozen to my bed. I couldn't move, sleep. I have sleep paralysis. I can't say that word. Paralysis. I was stuck to my bed, paralysis. Yeah. So I was stuck to my bed like a magnet was holding me to the bed. I couldn't get up. I couldn't move. And he was at the bottom of the bed going along like this, like the bloody, with his face, these mad eyes. And I just remember being paralyzed. I couldn't move. And those were the dreams I was having, the nightmares I was having. So that's PTSD, isn't it?
PTSD. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then after him, there was another guy, and he was verbally abusive. And then one night he was a rugby player, and I used to go out and try and drink as much as the rugby boys, which is a big mistake. They were crazy, man. And I remember and I never did anything wrong, I just, try and join in. I was one of the lads. Hello.
Shelby, I'm gonna laugh. Are you going to college? I'm going to take my final. Oh, she's going to take her final, y'all. She's going to her last semester before nursing school.
Good luck, sweetheart.
I'm so proud of her.
Aww.
Good luck, sweetheart. Okay. Be careful.
Oh, she's beautiful.
She's 20 and she's in nursing school. This is her last
Awesome.
class. And she goes to
Amazing.
nursing school. Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, you must be so
I'm
proud.
so proud of her. So anyway.
So yeah, one night I don't know, he would just start bullying me mentally, and then one night he pushed me. He kind of nudged me and pushed me every now and then, and just more like verbally abusive, just a bully. And then he pushed me in front of his friends, and we were at the pub, and I went into this glass table,
Oh,
you know,
shit.
and I just sort of walked off, walked home. No one came after me and made sure I was all right, you know. I was only my feet that got cut, but
Did you
like,
have
what the hell?
did you have it at that point a tolerance like I'm not going through this shit again?
I stayed with him after that, but
You
then
did?
he moved away, and I went to see him once, and it was like, I don't know, it was really silly. It was like, I think because I had
Right,
shit
Sophia?
birthdays.
I agree.
Yeah. I think like because I had shit birthdays. On my 18th birthday, I woke up to Roy punching me in the face, in the head, you know.
Yeah.
That was my 18th. My 21st, I was crying in a toilet in London.
Hey,
And it was
Thomas.
just like, so it
Yeah.
would always be like, you know, when it was our first year anniversary, me and this guy, I was like, oh, you know, we should do something really special, like go in a helicopter or something. I'd be all extravagant, and he'd just be like, oh, fuck off. You know?
And at that point, I just want to know at what point where you started self-realization that what the hell am I doing with these folks? Sorry.
Well, it was actually that time when I went down to visit him, and I said about doing something special for our anniversary. He told me to fuck off, and then he kneed me, like, you know, used his knee on me in front of his friends, again in front of his friends. And I thought, you know what, fuck this shit, you know. So I didn't dump him there and then, but I went back home, left him over the other
Yeah.
side of the country. I went back home. I went out with my girls, and I was on the dance floor, and I felt so empowered, and I felt really good. I'd made some good friends. And I texted him. I dumped him by text while I was dancing.
Yes, you go, girl. Hell yeah. That's the best way to do it.
And so I'd been working at a care home and getting all of the qualifications ready to go into to start uni to become a nurse, because it was always my dream to live in Australia. And I was going to go down the nursing route, you know, to try and get in on the point system and everything. So I did all the stuff to get to uni. I was going to start on that, and then I was just like, do you know what? I'd wasted time with this prick. I'd wasted a year of my life with this prick. And I was like, you know, I'm not getting any younger. I was like, what, 20, I don't know, 29 or something. I thought, you know what, sod it. I'm just going to go to Australia. I'm just going to go to Australia, and I'm going to wing it. Like, I haven't got the qualifications for them to go there. I'm just going to go and just see what happens, you know? So I went there, and then
You did something for yourself, T.
14 years later, I'm
did
still
something
here.
for yourself.
I'm still here. And I met my son's father 2 weeks after I arrived in Australia. Fell deeply in love with him. That I look back now, and I think it was a trauma bond relationship. He'd been through trauma, but he was like the sweetest he could be, the sweetest soul. He was a proper bushman, you know, knew all the birds and the flowers, the names, you know. He would fix anything out of nothing. He was I guess what you would call like a cowboy, like a ringer, we call it. He'd worked on like cattle ranches or cattle stations, as they're called in Australia.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with him, and I fell in love with everything he taught me, and I fell in love with the country, Australia, you know. And yeah, and
Absolutely.
he had his own issues going on. He drank a lot and everything. And I look back now, and I think it was definitely a trauma bond. I don't know. Yeah. And anyway,
you know what? It doesn't matter because look what you have out of it.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
That's what I mean by that doesn't matter. Look what you got out of it.
Yeah. Well, we moved up to his dream, because he'd had a previous relationship for 7 years, and he had 3 kids, and he couldn't see them or whatever. So he followed his dream of going back up to the cattle station, like just going and working on a cattle station. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so freaking romantic or whatever. So what happened, I worked on the cattle ranch with him for a few years, and you know, I was freaking wrangling bulls and crocodiles and shit.
That's
well, not
cool,
quite. That's another story. Not quite, but you know, I was so in love, and we planned to have a baby. We were engaged.
Sophia, that's a good one. Look at that, T. Sophia's like asking a relative to dump my abusive ex. Leave it to the Germans over there, Sophia. Okay.
Everything I own in the box on the left.
That's it.
But yeah,
That's
anyway,
it.
so yeah, all in love and all that, and then we were engaged. I think we got engaged after like 6 months. It was ridiculous. We were like proper loved up. And then we planned to have a baby. We tried for 7 months, and then as soon as I was pregnant, he turned mentally abusive. He went all propo, and I think it was because he had a lot of issues from his childhood. He felt like he wasn't good enough. This, that, and the other. I left him, and I was supposed to go and live with someone in Perth, and that fell through. So I was homeless and pregnant at like 3 months pregnant. Yeah, yeah. And I could have just gone home to the UK, but at that point I was on a temporary visa. And if I'd gone home, I would lose my chance of becoming a permanent resident. So I was like, I am not going home. I'm getting my residence.
Okay, but that
My
strength
son is
that
going to
you
be
gained,
Australian.
that
My
strength
baby's
that you
going to be
gained
Australian.
was from everything you have already been through.
It was my dream to live here, and I'm like, no, I'm not going, right? Which maybe was dumb, but I'm here because I stay strong. And
not
so I was in
dumb.
home. I was homeless in Perth. I was sneaking into hostels and sleeping in the movie rooms and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So then anyway, one of his family members reached out. I'd been talking to her on Facebook a couple of times. It was his sister, who he hadn't seen for years. He wasn't in touch with his mom or anything because they're all just really dysfunctional. And so she said, come and live with me. And she lived in the middle of in a little country town in the middle of nowhere. Went to live with her. It turned out she was a meth head. And I was giving her money every week. I was paying rent. I was working. I was out here. I had a big baby bump working on the deli in this country town. I worked. They would only let me work 6 weeks before my due date. They wouldn't let me work after that. So I got a job at a bar as well. And and at this point, Adam, his name was my son's father. He switched his phone off. He just switched his phone off to me. Just didn't bother. He just completely abandoned me. So I just kept going, and luckily it was so weird. I was on Facebook and I saw a friend, one of the girls that used to work on the cattle ranch with me, and she'd posted up something in this particular town, which is if anyone knows Merredin, any of you Aussies, it's halfway between Perth and Kalgoorlie, so it's like in the middle of nowhere. Slap me like button and give me belly tickle. That's so funny. So
Right,
sorry,
yeah.
I've forgotten where I was.
No, so his mom's
the abandonment, yeah. So anyway, he was really mean about it. Actually, he said some really hurtful things to me, and he told me later on that he was trying to make me hate him, so that I wouldn't love him anymore or something stupid like that. Who knows? So his sister, one day I was ranting about him to my friend, saying what a prick he was and all of this, and his sister got mad with me, and she was supposed to sell me her car. I gave her the money up front stupidly, and she never gave me the car, and I ended up, I don't know, we had a row. I moved out. I got my own place. I wasn't entitled to any welfare because I was a temporary resident.
right.
I got this baby coming, he wasn't helping me out financially or anything. I was only working in the bar, and I'm literally walking along, waddling like this, as a waitress, trying to give. And the woman's like, T, you can't work here anymore, you can't work here anymore. What
Watch
are you
me.
doing?
Watch me.
I've got to pay my rent. You've got to let me keep working, please. And I used to wind her up because I've always been someone, I'll have a laugh. I'll always have a laugh. I like to have fun. And I remember being behind the bar with her when she wasn't looking. I got a glass of water and I poured it on the floor, and I went, oh my God, I think my waters are broken. She was like,
I love you.
But yeah, I don't know. So I went up to the cattle ranch a couple of times. Of course, I paid for myself because I had my tax return. He wouldn't pay. So I went up there to see him because I was just, I wanted to make things work. We did kind of get back together and then break up and all of this shit.
So to be fair, you have a son together, so I'm not gonna.
Yes. So he wasn't there for the birth. My mum had to fly over from the UK to be my birthing partner because he switched his phone off again. The day I was in labour, he didn't answer the phone. In fact, he didn't meet his son until he was 2 months old.
Really?
He didn't even message me to see how, if I'd given birth or not or anything, So thank God for my mum. And she had come over for 3 weeks, and he was late. He was having a good time in there. I loved being pregnant. I actually when I had the baby, I used to have my dinner plate on my bump, and I was like, I don't want him to come out. I quite like him being in there. And I had a puppy, and
you can protect him in there, and you can keep him safe.
And the puppy used to fall asleep with his head on my belly, listening to the baby. It was so sweet.
So
but, yeah. Anyway, so what was I saying? So he didn't even ring to see if I had given birth or anything, and so I was like, well, I'm not bloody ringing him. And I waited, I think, 2 weeks, and then I messaged him. I was so upset. Oh, that's it. My mum had to go. I gave birth, and my mum had to go 3 days later. So all of a sudden,
3
yeah,
days?
I'm in the middle of nowhere. My friend had left, because it turned out my friend was in the same town, but then she'd left. She had to go back to the UK. I had no one. I'm sitting there with this baby, and I obviously never had a baby before. Didn't know what I was doing really. And I never felt so alone.
You do what you can do.
I had stitches down there, and it was like a bunch of grapes down there, mate. I had to sit on a rubber ring. I couldn't sit down. I had to sit on a rubber ring.
I'll laugh about my little Bucky's pillow here, because I have to put it behind my
I had
back.
to sit on something like that because I couldn't sit down, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I know, man, I was really lucky. I had no morning sickness or anything, which is beautiful. And I remember just making this big tub of water in the kitchen to just sit in and relieve myself. And I went like that, and I plonked myself down in there, and then the water went all over the floor, and I just went, ah! I just started bawling my eyes out. I felt so alone. And so, and during my pregnancy, I've missed a bit out. During my pregnancy, I was having suicidal thoughts. I was almost I thought about throwing myself in front of a train and stuff like that.
So
afterwards,
depression, or
I had post and post and prenatal depression and postnatal depression, the doctor said.
And also the psychosis also can come with that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm lucky I didn't have that. Yeah. I'm lucky I didn't have that. But yeah, anyway, so
Bucky's.
We're getting near the end now. Sorry, guys. I am getting near the end.
You're good. We're just taking your pace, honey.
I know, but it's long. So, and I've got to get my son to bed as well at some point. But yeah, so he didn't meet until he was 2 months old. He said he was going to come down. He wanted to make things work. He was sorry. He wanted to be a family and all of that. So he came down, and he had a job interview in the town that I was in. He got the job, and he said, oh, but I have to go. He stayed at my house for 2 weeks. He helped train the puppy. He said he would do all the night feeds and everything, but I was breastfeeding, and it was just easier. Well, I'd made espresso milk and put it in the freezer and all of that shit, and then it just turned out that he didn't wake up when the baby cried. So I had the dog snoring, I had him snoring, and then the baby. I was like, God's sake,
Somebody help me.
But anyway, he was there for 2 weeks. He goes, I've got to go up and do my month's notice. And in the meantime, when he was going up there, I'd already booked the UK to go and see my family so they could meet my baby.
Right.
And a couple of days before I went to go to the UK, he switched his phone off again. Wasn't answering me. I sent him a little picture. Yeah. I sent him a little picture of his little baby holding a passport going, I'm in the country, daddy. Trying to tug on his heartstrings. No answer. Get to the UK. Wow. And I think I was there for 4 weeks, and week 3, he finally messaged me back, and he said, the reason I haven't been messaging you back is because I've been fucking someone else. Well, thank you.
Wow. Holy shit. Yeah. I wasn't expecting that one.
I know.
What?
So then I get
I know, right?
And honestly, I just jumped on because one of your guys' guitar stuff studio, and I just wanted to show that real quick.
Oh, hey, I remember you. You did the, hang on a minute, what did you do? I remember you did something really cool, sorry.
But all the guitars in the background. I just thought they might appreciate that. And wow, what a charmer. He sounds about as much of a peach as my douchebag ex.
I was so in love with him, though. I was so in love with him. And between all this crap of switching off phones, he would ring me up drunk and sing down the phone to me, and I'd be bawling my eyes out. I just wanted a father for my child, like I just, he was so romantic when we were together, and we'd sing. There was this country. I love country music,
He was you sweets.
Oh, he'd dance around the kitchen with me when I was finished at work on the, because I worked in the restaurant at the cattle ranch, and he was my cowboy. I was so in love with him. Anyway, he told me he was going to make things work. He got a job. So anyway, I'm coming back from the UK. I'm just about to land in Australia. Just about to take off to go to Australia from the UK. I get a message from my friend going, just a heads up, Adam's moved his new girlfriend into town.
Holy shit.
Right, so I have to go back to my town, right? And he's got this job, and his girlfriend's working there, and I've got his baby, and I was just like, what the actual? So I did the mature thing, and I went to. There's only one pub. There was like, one of those towns where there's a pub and a store and not much more,
Right,
And he was working at the abattoir, and I go into the pub and I go up to her and I shake her hand, and I said, nice to meet you.
How classy of you.
Well, the more people to love my son, the better.
Right.
I said that to her.
With you.
And then I went in the toilet and I bawled my eyes out. I went into the toilets and bawled my eyes out. She came in and she said, "Oh, are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just all a bit much." And she said, she said something about some date. I think when he'd come to stay for the 2 weeks, she said, "Oh, when he came down, we'd only kissed at that point." I was like, "Oh, you had you? I didn't know that."
I didn't know that. Keep talking.
I got it. Well, not stand at the bar. I had the boy with me, but I was, I used to time it so I could have one drink because I was still drinking, but not really heavily. I stopped when we were trying to conceive. And then, I don't know, all the stress, that was my go-to was drink, but it's not like I wasn't waking up in the morning and drinking. I'd have a social drink.
And this goes with our topic of the week on Mental Health Matters is a mother's love. And you're the epitome of that.
Oh, thanks. But I used to time it so that, because it would take 45 minutes for the alcohol to go into your breast milk or something like that. So I'd have a very light, like I'd have a vodka and Coke or whatever with like, not even double shot, just a normal one, right? And it was his girlfriend behind the bar serving. So I go up and I ask her and she goes, "Oh, well, if you get this one, this is cheaper and you get more alcohol." And I'm like, "Honey."
Hello, that's not the point.
I'm not trying to get drunk. I'm just having, just to take the edge off. Anyway, so I had to stand at the bar and order when I just heard, she just told me that he had already kissed her when he's come down and had sex with me twice and looked into my eyes and said, "I will never make love to another woman." He said that to me. And then 4 days later, he'd already kissed her at that point. And 4 days later, he was with her. He had sex with her. I found out on her birthday. Woohoo! Happy birthday. So yeah.
See,
anyway,
you were so much
anyway, it ended up like so this is when I realized like he was a narcissist. His mother was a very, very narcissistic woman. The whole trying to control you. If she can't control you, tries to control everyone, causes shit between everyone and all of that, right? So he tried to do that to me. He tried to do that to me in my town, right? He made up this story about some young lad who was like this 19-year-old boy. I'm like, what, 32 at this point. And said that we were getting it on, but I knew his mum, and so I told her the whole story because he came into town. They didn't know the whole cheating thing, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he tried to run me out of town and they ended up running him out of town.
Well, thank God for small miracles. And she is a great person. I'm so glad. I can't wait to put my arms around her. It's going to happen.
Oh, one day I'm going to come to. My brother actually wants to move to Texas. He actually wants to move to Texas. Come.
We have a mutual friend that lives right down the road.
I'm going to end it, right? So, and then I'll tell you my little bit because there's so much more trauma. There's loads of shit. How was I going to end it? Right. So he went back up on the cattle ranch with his girlfriend and switched his phone off and everything. And then a year later, he died in an accident.
What? Okay, I wasn't expecting that stop.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know he was dead?
He died. And then he just died? Okay. Let me
I
He was
kind of
messaging me, telling me he loves me and he misses me and he misses
Wow.
having sex with me and looking into my
What
eyes and all this
twisted that
shit,
one?
you know.
What
But do you know what
twist?
the most hurtful thing was about that relationship is that, and so in my opinion, there's 3 types of sex, right?
Okay.
There's fucking,
Yeah.
there's sex for fun, and then there's making love, right?
Oh, yep.
And to that point, before I got with him, I only really knew what fucking was.
Right.
I don't do the whole for fun thing. That just kind of freaks me out. I don't know why. And he was the first person. He taught me what making love was, to the point where it was so special. I'd be crying and, you know, all of that. And I really, really let him into my heart. And then he ended up cheating on me. And it was like it was just all a
But
lie.
he also
So
let a child into your
really,
heart as
really
well.
messed me up. Really messed me up. And I've got a baby as well, you know. And,
But
and
that
then he
child was
dies.
conceived
Then
out
he
of love.
dies. You know, he dies, and I've got all these unanswered questions. And how am I, you know, how
permanent trauma bond.
I thought that, yeah, that's what I'm saying, trauma bond. That's why I was saying it was a trauma bond.
Yeah.
But I just, I wanted a dad for my son. I thought he would need one, but I think boys are okay. There's some really strong men out there with strong mothers,
Yes,
and
there
vice
are.
versa. There's single dads that do amazing jobs, you know.
Yes.
So yeah,
It's not
you
like
know,
he walked out on you and walked away and ran. He just, I mean, like you just shocked the shit out of me. He died. You can't
well, no, he
control that.
didn't. He walked. He chose to leave town and go with her rather than stick
Yeah.
around, move to the
Yeah.
next town or something. You know, he chose to go
He
back
would
up there and
still
ignore him
be
again.
here.
Yeah,
No, I'm just saying he
and
could
you know,
probably hit visitation, who knows what, but
he
he's
would
not
probably
here
be
anymore.
in and out of his life anyway. And
Yes.
I'm not gonna, you know, I had a break. Like when he decided he was leaving, I went round his house, and this is probably really bad, but I helped. Oh, it's gonna make me upset.
There's no bad, there's no good. It's your life. It's your story, honey.
I held Jacob in front of him and I said, "Are you really going to leave him? You know, are you going to leave him?" And he'd been telling her all this shit, saying that I didn't let him go to the birth. You know,
Oh,
like
wow.
all of this shit, painting me as this horrible person, and she
What's
just
yours?
bought it, hook, line, and sinker, bought it. Anyway, so yeah, so he dies. I ended up having a
How
couple
old
of
was
stupid.
Jake?
It was just before he was 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and so the rest, there's loads of other traumatic things that have happened, but they're the main ones. And so I started having therapy 2 years ago. I did schematherapy,
Yes.
where they identify your schemas, and your schemas, I can't even remember what mine are. Oh, right, so this is the major thing, the major discovery. One of my schemas was abandonment issues, and I was like, what?
Well, let's see. That starts with CPTSD, you know?
Oh, and the CPTSD, I got diagnosed after the guy that I dumped on the dance floor when I was 29. So that's when I got diagnosed with it. But I had OCD for 2 years, like real bad OCD with the rituals of having things in a certain place and stuff like that. Like I'd take antibacterial wipes out with me for door handles, all sorts of stuff. I had that for like 2 years. So that would have been a trauma response thing. And I was told that I had PTSD when I was like 23, 24, but the CPTSD, that was when I was 29.
That was too young.
Yeah. So anyway, I was told just over a year ago that I have abandonment issues. Now I had no idea. That I had abandonment issues, but this really helped me. I opened a can of worms, and it really triggered a spiral of trauma for me. But
yes,
you have to go through. I think I have to go through this. I'd
you
rather
have
have gone
to go through it to get through
and
it.
known why. So the knock-on effect, the abandonment was from my dad.
Yes.
Because all this way through, have I mentioned my dad? Have I mentioned my dad being there for me?
Nope.
Have I mentioned that my dad's reaction to the abuse? No. In fact, there's been times when so in the meantime, there's another massive bit that I missed out. When remember I said my mum dropped us at the neighbor's house?
Yes.
He fell in love with the neighbor, and he ended up getting with her. And
is that who that we talked about? That's
the
who
evil
was with?
stepmom,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I go undercover at Scientology churches, I call myself Sheena.
Yep.
That's my
That's
stepmom's
it.
name.
There's a full story, full circle.
You've always got to have a laugh, you know. I have a little dig.
I love it.
But yeah, so he ended up choosing her over us, and we'd hear from him every maybe 3 to 6 months and see him every 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
And I didn't see anything wrong. I was like, that's just dad, you know. He was in Scotland, I was in England. That's just dad. But I realised now that, no, well, hang on a minute. He was my parent, and he should have been there for me. And there's been times where I rang him up. I asked, you know, what I said, I was homeless in London. I actually managed to get a job in Gatwick and an airport, and I needed 30 pounds, so like $50, to get an airside pass so I could start this job. I was sleeping on a friend's sofa, and I don't know. I asked him for money, and I could hear her talking in the background, telling him not to give it to me, you know.
Wow.
And he was crying and saying, I want to help her. And, you know, I don't know. So anyway, he ended up being brainwashed and controlled by this woman, and he wasn't there for me. But realizing that I'd been abandoned by him is the knock-on effect of that is me getting with people older than me, maybe, being a people pleaser, putting up with abuse because I didn't want to leave because, you know, it's that abandonment thing. I was scared of leaving them, and do you know what I mean?
The unknown. You didn't know what was coming.
Yeah. And the whole, oh, sorry, I'm just seeing all your messages. I'll read them in a minute.
Yeah, just don't listen to me. Just talk.
Yeah. I saw one word there. But yeah.
I just want to hear your story.
I can't remember what the things were, the abandonment issues. What are the things that are the knock-on effects of abandonment issues? It's putting up with shit from people because you're too scared to, you know, that whole, when I was 16 trying to unalive myself and being so obsessive and stuff, is that fear of being abandoned again, like subconsciously, you know. And I never realized
everybody in the chat, it doesn't necessarily have to be the real. If it's real to T, that fear of abandonment, it can be an absolute irrational fear.
I didn't know I had a fear of abandonment,
but it doesn't matter. It's still real to her.
Weird. That's what I mean. It was like a light bulb moment. Okay, right, because I didn't know. I thought that the reason I was messed up or whatever was because of Roy, what he'd done to me, you know, but it wasn't. It was before that. And that led me to accept the shit from my stepdad. That led me to accept the shit from Roy. It led me to accept all sorts of shit, you know. And man, if I'd known that earlier, but also your childhood, the emotional needs, the basic emotional needs of a child when you're young, they weren't met. You know, you as a child, you need to feel comfort, validation, you need to feel safe.
You need to be safe, loved, yes, nurtured.
Affection, validation, you know, listened to. You know, you need to have a positive self-esteem built up. And if you don't, then that can cause you to be traumatized, can't it? You know, it's not setting you up for the world. So when you say I'm a good mum, right? I don't feel like I've provided all of that for my son.
Because I have good kid.
Yeah, but there's been times where I don't know what I'm doing as a parent, right? I've had to.
Who does, T?
I'm reparenting myself and figuring out how the hell to parent someone else as well. I got diagnosed with ADHD, now autism, and you know, and I'm like my dad, and
but
I get why my dad.
Any of that shit. You don't use any of that shit.
I get why my dad was the way he was with a friend. I'm like that with Jake. I'm his friend, you know, and I'm like, no, I need to bloody.
Okay, so look at me.
Disciplining him feels so foreign to me. It goes against every fiber of my being, but I have to make him ready to go out into the world, you know. So
look at me, T. I want you to know something.
But he's loved.
Look at the life that you lived. The lack of things that you needed, and more of what you didn't, that you got dealt in life. Okay. Parents do not come with an instruction manual.
I know.
We're going to make mistakes. We're going to mess up. You have done everything you can do to survive. And now you enjoy to live. You get to this time to spend with
do
your
now.
son because your son is amazing.
He is. He's gorgeous. I'm very
Our
lucky.
kids are never going to be perfect. We don't expect them to be. But you
Do you know
provided
what?
that nurture.
If I lose it, like, which isn't very often, I don't like getting angry, but I always apologize to him. And I think a lot of the time, you know, it's hard because he's autistic as well. So you know, I don't know what to do when he's like refusing to listen or refusing to even discuss something or whatever. And sometimes I just lose my shit and I'm like, mate, for
On
God's
their own
sake.
time, darling.
And I feel like I shame him sometimes. That's how I feel. But I will always recognize that now and apologize straight away and then validate him, you know?
Because you
And I think
are
at least I'm
learning.
doing that, you know? But I don't feel any bad. And then this
That's
about,
right,
sorry,
Sophia. I agree with that right there. That boy didn't get as amazing as he is by accident. No, he
yeah.
didn't.
And he's struggling. He hasn't been to school for 4 months now. He hasn't been to school. He's depressed. He has depression, you know? And so when I found all
At his
this
own
out,
pace.
hey,
At his own pace. At his own pace. That way he's
yeah,
not stressed out about it.
it's
Yeah.
driving me nuts. I don't have any time to myself, but it's driving me nuts.
How old is he?
He was 11 in October.
He's 11.
Play therapy or art therapy? Honestly. Art
Well,
therapy.
see, this is the thing. So this is where I'm at now. So 3 years ago, something else happened to me and triggered me, and then just over a year ago, this whole abandonment issue thing has just caused me a massive spiral and shame and all of this stuff. And I've been isolating. So I've got into this really bad habit before I started on YouTube of just not getting out of bed in the morning, putting him in school, and then going back to bed. I was really depressed and really messed up. And now we're both doing that. We don't go out.
Okay, so recognize that. Recognize
Yeah.
that and do something about it now. Change it now.
I know. And it's like, do something about it. It's like, I know what I need to do. I need to go out and stuff, but I'm just not.
Take him
I'm
outside.
not. And
Walk around. You know, go
I know,
treasure
I know.
hunting. You know, something. You're
I know.
so smart. And just like him wanting to go to the Lisa McPherson, that was
Yeah.
you're
That's all
teaching
I've got.
him
Do you know,
how to
the
be
only
a
thing I've gone
man.
out for is protesting. The only thing I've gone out for is protesting. How ridiculous is that?
But he wanted to go with you. That was amazing.
He did.
He
Yeah.
didn't want to
He
sit in
did.
the car. He wanted to be a part of it.
He
Because
did.
you're
Yeah.
the leading light example in his life. And that is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. He doesn't want to go to the park anymore. Like, I bought him one of the electric scooters. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to do. He's at an age where, like, he started puberty and he's like proper cranky and he's
Yes.
like, leave me alone all the time. And I don't know what to do with him. He doesn't want to go to the trampoline park. He doesn't want to go to the park. He doesn't want to go out on his scooter. He'll go to the cinema and he'll go to like anything to do with anime. And then I took him to Comic-Con and it was too noisy. And it's just, I don't know where to take him. I don't know what to do with him.
At his own pace. At your own pace.
Yeah,
And
I
you know
play
what?
video games with him, you know, but he's
That's
just
great. It's time together. And it makes him feel
Yeah.
safe because he's not out and putting himself out in that
yeah.
arena.
But you know what? He comes to me if he feels worried about something. He comes to me and we talk and we strategize together. And
Absolutely.
I
Kathy,
never
the
had that
only
with
thing
my
you can
parents.
do
So
is the best you can do. There is no one
Yeah.
size fits all. You do whatever you need to do for you and your son. I know you don't think you do, but you've got this. Thank you, Kathy. Yes, she does.
thank you. But like, you know, so where I'm at now is I feel like, you know, I haven't been going to therapy. I just felt like I hit a brick wall. It's just not doing anything for me. And the whole I'm burnt out and
You need a break too.
I'd need a break. A break would be nice, but yeah. So I've been fundraising and saving up to get the stellate ganglion.
Okay, so guys, I want to tell you, I'm gonna stop right here. In the
I think it was changed
description,
my life.
since we've had to change like 5 descriptions because hey back Grammy, since we've had to change so many descriptions. She's got a GoFundMe, and I'm saying this from Mental Health Matters channel. Hey Journey, from Mental Health Matters channel. We are going to be a part of that because She does not have to do what she does to help everyone to get out of this damn cult. But she is doing everything she can, and we're going to take it one day at a time, and we're going to help her. And my community, my Mental Health Matters channel, they will, and we will keep sharing. And if you can't even give a dime, you can share, because she's raising
Thank
her
you.
son, and she takes her money, and she
And my
takes care of her son.
my dad, so I got halfway there, then my dad passed away kind of suddenly. When was it? The beginning of, no, it was the end of
Yeah, and
October.
then his visa, Jake's visa wasn't working, right? Or I mean,
All
his
the passport and all of that, and
The
then
passport,
and now
yeah.
just recovering from MRSA and all sorts of stuff's been going on. And I'm just like, ugh. So I was halfway there to my goal, and then my dad passed away, so I had to use some of the money to fly over there.
Yeah.
So what it says on the, hang on, because I had to transfer it into the bank account. I don't know. So I'm probably about 1.5 to 2,000 short.
Oh, that's it. How much is that American dollars though?
I don't know. So the total was, with all the travel and everything, because I can't get it done in Perth, it has to be in Melbourne, was 5,500 Australian dollars. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's less in US dollars.
Oh, is it?
It's less in US dollars, so it's less than that. And what was I saying? So I'm planning on trying. I'm going to get some more work. I work at the school, so I'm going to get some more work after Christmas, because obviously it's going to be shut. We have summer holidays and Christmas holidays in Australia, because it's summer here at the moment, which is really weird. So we have
please come. I hate this winter.
It's too hot, mate. Honestly, it gets probably like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's really
bask
hot.
in my sun pool in 118 degrees outside. That's why my other half said, I know why Satan doesn't touch women, because y'all bask in the flames of hell.
Mate, I'm perimenopausal as well at the moment, so I'm like, I wake up just drenched in sweat, and then you've got like 100-degree heat.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in here real quick. Okay, so everybody that is listening, please, and on the replay crew, she just sat here and told her, we didn't get into the weeds. I'm gonna do a part 2 with T, but we didn't get into the weeds.
There's a lot of missed out, but you know.
Yeah, but no, but just the trauma that she has been through in just a little short time she has. I mean, we've been on here. That right there shows she needs, and therapy, regular therapy is not helping her anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to finish raising these funds for her to get these shots so she can go back to pre-trauma.
I just want to have
she wants to be herself
again. Like, you know, I'm not functioning okay. I know you all say I'm a great mum and everything, but there's a lot more that I need to be doing, you know? I need the strength not to be okay. You say just go out and stuff, but I haven't, and I'm not doing all the therapies with him, and I know I need to. I've got funding there, and I'm not using it for him. And I need to, and I don't know why. It's avoidance, you know?
Okay. See, when a plane tells you to put your oxygen mask on, who do they tell you to put it on first?
You first, then your children.
Okay. Because you can't save your child.
I know. I've been running on empty for 3 years, you know. I'm burnt out.
Wait, Journey, put that up. Can somebody put that up for Journey? Did Journey just posted?
Oh, Mad Drop Bear did it as well, yeah.
$2,000 is 1,270 equals to 1,276 right now. Okay, hey Brian, hang on. Looks like to be a little over $3,500 US total for. Okay, so $3,500. That's our goal. Okay.
No, that's too much.
Okay.
I've already got. Hang on. Let me have a look, because there's big Christmas coming up as well.
Journey's saying 2,000. Journey, can you clarify on that for me?
Let me just see, because I've got. So the money that was in the GoFundMe, I got confused because it says you have to set up a bank account or something. I set up the bank account, and then it took all the money out of the GoFundMe and put it in the bank account. And I'm like, no, I don't want it there. I don't want it there.
I use
in my bank account, and I haven't touched it. And when I was saying when my dad passed away, is I got some money from him. It was like $2,000 from him, right? So let me see. Where is the savings?
Okay.
And I'll tell you how much I've got. Da, da, da. Okay, so I have 3,500 Aussie
Yeah, that's
money.
what Jones. Okay.
Oh, okay. So I've got
So
3,500.
tell me what you need.
That's 2,000. Oh, okay. So you're all over it. You're way ahead.
I just want to know what you
Sorry, yeah.
need.
So what Jenny said, basically, I guess, yeah.
So we need.
And and I don't expect, I don't like asking for money because I am very independent. I moved out when I was
You
15.
never
I've
asked
done
for
everything.
anything.
I've done everything myself, and it feels weird taking money. But I thought other people are doing it. If they want to chuck in $5, and Brian, thank you so much. I saw your donation today, and I haven't said
You will
thank you.
have mine
I only
today in just a
I
minute,
didn't
moment.
had I only saw it today, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And the anonymous donor before that as well.
I'm going to tell you,
Honestly,
T, you just put full circle. Your son is the most important thing in your life, and you realize that at this point you're not able to do what you need to do.
I
If
want to
that
be
will
able to.
help you
I want to be able to
help
study. I
him,
want to study, and I want to build a future. And I know I'm 43, but I want to
we're
build a
going to get
future.
this done. We're going to get this done, T.
But I don't want to be crying. I don't want to be sad. I'm sad fishing. Am I sad fishing?
Oh, hell no. Don't even use that word.
Oh,
I don't even allow that word. Oh, my God.
yeah. But
This is for your son.
I know,
You.
but I am going to be working. I am working now.
When do
I've
you
been
ever
working less.
stop?
Well, I've been working less because my son's been off school, But when because he had a horrible teacher, and I found out actually that there's another 5 kids that haven't been going because of this bloody teacher.
Oh,
Two of them have been talking about unaliving themselves as well. So that's my son and the other 2. And so that we're getting her out of that school. I went mama bear on them, and I went to the education department and everything, and hopefully she's not coming back next year. We've had enough. So he will be going to year 6 because it's a new start. We've been trying to get him to go in. I'm not going to put him back in a place where he doesn't feel safe.
She doesn't worry around any children.
No, she doesn't. So, but year 6 is different. He knows who he's getting. He's got a nice education because he has to have a full-time aide, and so I believe, and I'm hoping that he will go to school because then I can work full-time properly. I can't take on a job. I work for myself at the moment. I have a little cleaning company, but I've had to cut down my work a lot because I have to be with him, So some of them I can take him with me.
Kathy, thank you.
But yeah, so I will hopefully be able to work more, and I will work my arse off as much as I can to put as much money into that. I just want to reset. I just want to like a fresh start where my brain is functioning properly. I can't study at the moment. I struggle to read stuff because my brain is just so fuzzy,
Yeah.
like I say, I've been running on empty for 3 years now, and I've just been eating as well, like an absolute, like I've put on so much weight. I'm as big as I've ever been in my life. But it's starting to cause like physical problems, my breathing. I'm out.
When you broke out, it was so bad. I was like, oh God, T.
Oh, well, yeah, the whole MRSA, I don't know if that's connected, but my breathing as well. Like I need a CPAP machine now as well because I've put on weight. Like it's really round here,
So get with me. We're going to do some trauma release exercises, and then that'll go away.
I call it my chneck. It's a chin and neck in one. It's a chneck.
Thank you, Kathy. Yes, don't ever be ashamed for asking for help. It takes a strong person to know when you need help, and to accept it. And you do so much for this community, T.
Thank you.
You are a guiding light.
I want to do so much more. I'd love to study mental health. I would love to start an Australian foundation for
Well, come on over here, and I will be
amazing.
I will be your observer for mental health. I will be your, and then you'll be close by.
I'd love to be more involved in this channel and have the spoons to do it. Do you know what I mean? And
yes,
but to start a charity, or a foundation down under would be amazing to help people out. Just something in the mental health field. I don't know.
I have a 501c3, so maybe we can talk after this. all things.
I don't know how that would work, but yeah. And I think that's why we're all drawn to this community for a reason. And I think mine is I can relate to so many of the survivors when they're talking about their stories. Hello. Sorry, I talk a lot.
No, it's all good.
Rika,
You want
Rika.
to start something in Aussie, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I'd love to do that.
Miss Keela can get you my contact information.
Yes.
Where she's not plugged in overseas, I am.
There you go.
Okay.
T, things are never impossible. It takes a village. And guess what? We have one here.
Mate, you do not understand how much this community's done for me. It's like I say, I've been isolating, and I now have a social life. Yes, it's online. I'm still not going out, but I have, like I say,
Mine is too.
like for decades, I've been talking about my abuse, and I've been just people don't know what to say because it's right. People just look at you like, whoa, like they don't know what to say. But since I've come here, you know, people know what to say. Because they've been through similar, or I feel so accepted and validated, and it's just honestly, this community has been just life changing for me. You know, I've got so much more confidence back. Like I say, I'm talking on the phone now. You know,
I
I'm
know
going
you
out.
call me.
Focus,
You
but
call me.
it's just
I mean,
amazing.
and don't
I know I
feel
just
guilty
video call you randomly. You know, like, oh,
Yes.
did I not do that before?
about needing the shots and stuff. Over
That's
the
very
weekend when I was Keela met a very dear friend of mine, Cherry.
yes.
Her CPTSD and everything, and her trauma is so bad that she had to bypass EMDR, all of it, and have shock therapy to help with hers.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Things like that. Okay. So
I'm still typing in, so keep talking, please.
it does not. Okay. I personally, with my CPTSD and things like that, I go the holistic route. I like my green. I like my CBD.
I know we're not allowed that here, though. It's illegal. So
I threw my CBD away because I was scared because somebody got arrested.
I am in a
I get
state
paranoid anyway. I've, you know,
I know,
if
me
I
too.
I'm in a state that it actually is legal. So
Yes,
it's legal in Canberra, I think, or they're legalizing it in Canberra, but medicinally, but yeah, not where I am.
well, and you know, with the writing and the video games and I'm at you know, building a good support system. But you know, I had to walk away from this for a little bit today because I wasn't ready for this. I did not realize what we were
Yeah.
going to be discussing at
it was very traumatic, and I knew it was going to be.
well,
Sorry,
it was also-
guys.
first, no, if I had known what we were talking about when I was getting in it, I would have been okay. But just kind of woke up, got thrown
You
into
guys having a disaster?
technical issues, and then here we go.
Big time, huh? You saved
Whiskey
us, though,
Tango
Crystal.
Foxtrot. You know, but
You saved us this morning. Thank you.
I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just the way you say it. I'm sorry, but it's
I love
mean,
her.
Kayla didn't know either, did you? You didn't know all of that, did you? I think I've told you a bit of
When we
stuff,
talked
but-
last night, we knew well, my last night.
Yeah.
I will, you know, I'm going
Your
to
little
mirror
slide's going up
what
pretty
Matt
quick.
says. Don't apologize for being you. Never
That's
apologize
right.
for that.
Sophia, you are exactly right.
Sorry, not sorry. Okay.
I'm not sorry.
That's why I said sorry, not sorry.
Yep.
I mean,
Well, I
love
I
you,
think it's
T.
important. It's so important to share these stories, you know, and learn from each other. And you know,
since you borrowed my channel, and we've made little
Hijacked.
mentions of it, I'm gonna bring up the whole sharing stories. The
Yes,
21st of
please.
December, a anthology that quite a few of the village members are writing for me, actually. It is a domestic abuse awareness anthology. It's a survivors anthology.
Yes.
Basically, part one is people who went through childhood abuse, whether they witnessed it or abused themselves, and as adults decided to break the cycle. second portion of it is your traditional Survivor, and then the third is your Angel Stories, all in one book. And it's going to be either a biannual or annual anthology. This is the first year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
I'm all about sharing the story.
Just to share the stories, because like you said, T, one person out there learns anything that's worth it, right?
If one person.
Yeah.
If,
I've learned stuff, absolutely. You know, there's been things that have made me go, oh, okay. You know, and from the Scientology survivors, especially this is the happy ending, right? So when I went
the
over
gold,
in
the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah. Well, almost. Hopefully, it's still not. It's still in progress. But
right. Same here.
Yeah. But so with the help, like, because due to this community, I'd actually last October, I went over to visit my dad because I visit the UK every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to go to the police about Roy 23 years after it happened.
Wow. Okay, wait, now I'm perking up. I'm sitting here trying to donate on here on this iPhone that's not working too well, but go ahead. I'm listening now.
Right. So, yeah, so I went to the police and everything, and I had to go into the station and report it. I had my sister, who was my absolute rock and was with me. And then I was going to have to do other interviews and on video and all sorts of stuff. And I almost backed out. And then being in this community and seeing what Miriam's been going through, you know, and other people and all of these strong people that haven't given up has inspired me to keep going. And he actually, I think it was 3 weeks ago, arrested. He got arrested. So, and I got a email off the officer dealing with it. What day are we on? On Friday, I got an email there. So they need more evidence. So they want pictures of my scars. They want the contact details for therapists that I've spoken to about it and stuff. Like, they're gathering evidence. They're going ahead with it.
Good.
So yes,
I'm so happy for you.
I know. So
I'm very happy for you, and
I'm so happy.
Because you know what? One of the things he did was he actually one night he took me to the police station and forced me to lie to them and say that I'd been R-worded at this shopping centre car park or whatever. I had to go in and tell them the story, and I couldn't lie. And so while I was telling the story, I admitted to them. I said, "Look, I'm not telling the truth or anything, but I was too scared to say he'd told me to do it." So then when I came out of there, he goes to me, "Oh, well, they're not going to believe you now because you've lied to them." You know, so it was a clever way of him stopping me from going to the police, you know?
No,
and it just sort of, even though after I'd gone and everything, I'd left him, I don't report it sooner. I guess I was just scared, or I just wanted to forget about it or whatever. But yeah, seeing people, you know, continuing to fight.
You're worried about the victim shaming. You're also worried about not being believed, not being heard.
Yes.
That's one of the big things that I work with.
Yeah. So I don't think, you know, I went to Australia and ran away from everything, and I still get very triggered when I go over there to the UK. And I just thought, no. Oh, that's what. Do you know what else? I have to say this bit because it's so cool. Sorry. Right. So remember Wayne, right?
Yes.
So when I was in October, and it was the day before I was going to the police station to report it, right? I'm in Tesco's, which is the big supermarket in the UK. And I do my shopping, and I'm at the checkout, and I'm thinking my bags and everything, putting all the shopping in my bag, and I look down at the end of the checkout, and I see these beautiful blue eyes, those crystal blue eyes. And I was like, and you're talking 23 years later.
Yes.
And I'm like, but it's a bald head, and I'm like, I know those eyes. I know those eyes. And I was like, could that be Wayne? And I haven't seen him for 23 years. So I go outside, and I follow. And luckily he sits down on a bench outside, and I go over to him and I say, Wayne, is that you? And he didn't recognize me because like I said, I put on a lot of weight and I was always really skinny. And he's like, yeah. And I go, and my name back then was Tez. So I go, it's Tez. It's like, no way, you know? And so I sat there with him for an hour and a half, like all my bloody stuff's defrosting, my shopping. And I sat there with him and I told him, I said, I'm reporting Roy. And he was like, oh my God. I said, will you be a witness for me? Will you be a witness? Because he'd witnessed stuff. He'd obviously seen injuries, like, because he used to put cigarettes out on me. He'd seen the scars from that, you know, the black eyes and stuff like that. And so, yeah, the police have contacted him as well. So it's like, but yeah, I would never forget those blue eyes, man. Like, they were just, you know, unfortunately, he's got a missus now. So, but yeah.
T,
I'm
so
joking.
what you've seen, no, but what you've seen is,
But
okay,
it was
so
like
you've seen
fate, you know, it
full
was meant
circle.
to be. Do you know how
Yeah,
many
it
times
wasn't-
I've been in that supermarket every year when I go over? My mum lives really near it, and I've been in that supermarket so many times. The day before I go to report it, old Blue Eyes comes along. Crazy, hey?
But look where
So,
you're at
yeah.
now. So I want to say this. I want to say, you when you came into my life, it was you know, it was on probably one of the worst days of your life, you know, emotionally, like when we actually sat and talked. And I want to say thank you for trusting me with that.
No, thank you for listening. You know,
And you trusted me, and you were there, and I was very honored to be a part of that, to just help you on your
Aw.
journey.
I'm
And
honoured to
then-
be on your channel, but not on your channel, but on your channel. I'm very
Yeah, but
honoured.
we're gonna get. I want to get a part 2 with you on the after. I have so many questions. I'm not going to be able to ask them right now. So,
Yeah, no, I would love.
Yeah.
I would love to.
You
I-
sharing that story made me check. In the US, we have a thing called VineLink
No.
where you can check.
yes, when someone gets out of prison or
Or,
jail,
yeah,
they,
it should be
you get the
notified.
victims get notified.
Okay.
My
Oh, but
dude
he's
was
on.
in jail till March 28th.
Okay.
Mine's back locked up again.
He's on bail until the 5th of February.
Merry Christmas.
My abuser.
to-
Yeah.
I'm sorry he's on bail, but
Man.
that Merry Christmas to me right there.
Yeah.
You
Awesome.
saying that made me actually think to check. I hadn't checked. in a
See,
while.
Oh, cool.
every little thing inspires somebody, sweetheart. You are so
Yeah.
worth it. You're just so worth it.
Thanks, Patty. It's all good. I'm done for now. I have to go and put my son to bed.
He's such a
Is there,
sweet
any,
baby.
is there any starred comments or questions that you want me to answer?
We didn't do any. Look, we're not doing that right now. No, everybody here, they've been here. What I want to do, is it okay
Yeah.
with you if
Almost
we make
3
a plan
hours.
for? Yes, and I'm taking 3 hours of Christmas.
I'm so like.
Oh no, it's fine.
But you know what? As
honey.
well, I have learned. I have to stop saying sorry.
Yes,
Yeah,
you do.
like people don't need to say sorry as much, you know. And I think it's a British thing as well. We over
No,
it's an American
apologize
thing
so
too.
much.
No,
No, it's an American thing too, because
Like,
I'm saying
no,
sorry
that's
about
it's a
everything from
people
my
thing,
trauma.
honey. It's a
It's
people
my
thing.
trauma that makes me say that.
It's
Oh,
a
I love
people
you
thing.
too, Jenny.
Bernie, you know I love you.
Do you like it?
Yeah, oh, she's
Oh.
gorgeous. I love her a
Did
lot. I
see
love her
my
so much.
my contact info?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I don't even. Am I following your channel? What's your channel link?
Okay,
I
they're
think
the
I am.
village. We're part of like it's a village that
And
everybody has their
I
own
think
individual
Nisha finally
channels.
added me.
Yes, and T, you would fit like right in here. It's just helping others.
I'm sure I'm sure I'll be on yours already. I must be. But I haven't seen your intro before, which is epic.
Well,
I love it.
I've subscribed to yours, so you'll get the notification. Either way.
Okay, cool.
Love you all so much.
But
Thank you for being here.
we'll give you my direct info.
Yes, and we hang out and we have fun and we help each other. It takes a village.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have a soft space to land, especially with Mental Health Matters. We have that soft space to land for people that are coming out of Scientology, out of the high control groups, out of just abusive relationships, or maybe just wants to help. And they come and make it a safe space for people. And that's what we want.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yeah.
I love you, sweets.
And it's so important. It's been very valuable to me. And yeah, I would
And
love
we
to be in
also
a.
ran
in
a
a
24-hour stream on Thanksgiving so that no one would
Oh,
be
that was
alone on
amazing,
Thanksgiving.
yeah.
That was them.
And
That was all them.
we haven't
We
been
just use my
invited
channel.
anywhere. Yeah.
We're doing the same
We
thing
haven't
for
been
And
Christmas.
invited
we're
anywhere.
doing it for Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I bought-
we haven't been invited anywhere yet, so I might have to help out with that.
I've got
would be great.
the 11 o'clock
Yeah.
time slot on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, we all had these time slots, but then me and Misha just kind of got cluster effed all over the place because just everything was going wrong. Everybody, all the mods that have channels, everybody they picked up, they went on their channel. We just used my StreamYard, but we went through everybody's channel. It was amazing. Nobody was alone.
And I was lurking for
Brian
a little bit.
said it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were playing games on, I mean, just having fun.
Yeah, no, yeah, I have. Yeah, I was just reading that one. He doesn't even want to leave the house. Like most of the time, he doesn't even want to get out of bed. It's that bad, you know.
Okay. And is
Um,
his mom doing it? Is his mom better?
That's it. I want to be better for him, you know. And
Yeah.
at the moment, like the putting on weight thing, I am an emotional eater. I comfort eat. I love cakes. I've got cakes
I'm
here
just gonna
now.
get me
but
some
they're
Irish cream cake right now.
sugar-free,
starving.
though. But yeah, I've managed to get him out for a couple of walks because he does.
Y'all went to
He likes-
y'all went to one of my favorite places. After
Yeah.
you were on your way home. Y'all vacations.
Yeah, he likes looking at the stars. So there's actually an observatory in Perth, so I might try and take him to that, or I don't know.
Yeah, but where did y'all go right before you come back?
Do what?
Why
Sorry.
Dad. Where did y'all go right before you came back from your dad's from the service and all that? You and Jake. Y'all were having you got sick, but you were having so much fun.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I don't know.
You
We
did.
didn't really. Well, I was sick in Bali.
You were
was there
sick
for-
in Bali, but
I was there for
Bali
4
is Bali
days,
is
and I was in
Bali. Damn it,
Egypt
she was
for 2
there.
days. It was crazy. Yeah.
One day
Nice.
I will make it overseas. One day.
That's what I said. I'm going.
And I will eat my way across Thailand.
Thank you, Journey.
Do it.
Journey's exactly right.
Yeah,
You
so
are
are you. So are you, Journey. So are you.
Oh, Journey is an incredible superhuman too.
Yeah. You all are in our own
That's
ways.
what makes us who we are, y'all. That's what makes
Yeah,
us
that's
who
what I'm
we
going to do,
are.
Matt. Yeah.
Sophia, you gotta
Matt, we went to 2 cat cafes. We went to the other one the next day as well when we were in Melbourne because he loves cats.
do you have a
So we
PO
went-
box or anything?
No.
Or an
I don't.
Amazon wish list or anything like that?
I've got an Amazon, but it's not really. I don't think I've got anything on it
Oh.
because Yeah.
Just
Since
for
he
him.
likes video games, does he do PC or a
Yeah.
console?
His iPad. He's obsessed with his iPad. I bought him a PC. I got him that's what I'm using now because I got one
Oh.
somebody made one on Facebook for like $300. That's what I got him for Christmas, and he
You
just
should
doesn't like it.
look into
He doesn't like
a website called Humble Bundle, where they have a lot. Yeah, they have book bundles for ebooks, gaming bundles, and tech bundles like software and stuff.
Yeah.
And all the bundles go to different charities, and it's really discounted. And I mean, God, how many video games do we have alone from there? I mean, you can get like 5
He
or
just plays
6.
Roblox. Just watch Roblox all the time.
But I'm just saying, I mean, even for you, for like the mental health books, I mean, I have over 150 mental health ebooks
Yeah.
from Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't even read books at the moment. You know, I have to get audio books. He does love Roblox, Mad. Yeah, and I pay for Crunchyroll for him, so he watches all his favorite anime shows and stuff. But it's literally the only reason I ended up taking him to the cat cafe. Like I wouldn't do that normally. Is he doesn't want to leave the house. He doesn't want to. You know, and every time I like try and gently push him to, he will escalate. You know, he'll just escalate and have a meltdown. I can't push him too hard, and I'm not going to force him to do something he doesn't want to do. But while I had him out, you know, because he had to come to he wanted to come to the protest, and then while I have him out, I'm sort of making up for lost time, like getting him to do all this stuff. But we did have a lot of downtime in the hotel as well, and laid in bed and stuff like that, because I get peopled out very quickly. And I need my space, you know. I can't.
He loves the stars.
Very
camping.
emotional. Yeah, the emotional hangover from that protesting was like it affected me for like, you know, I was still tired yesterday.
You were exhausted yesterday on StreamYard. It was exhausted. I mean, we actually had all of that worked out, guys. last night, or my last night, and heard this
Yeah,
morning.
Rika, Crunchyroll's awesome.
Yeah,
I wanna be-
and then all of a
Then-
sudden, Crystal had to come to the rescue.
But there's a reason for that, and I see already 3 different things that's been said here that there is a reason for. I don't have a doubt in my mind that I'm not going to have another issue with my StreamYard again.
Oh
There
yeah.
was the reason we
Speaking
were
of,
meant
I
to
have a
plan
feeling
here.
I know what it is. I will call you in like an hour. I need after we're done. Like you need like an hour.
I just need to go eat some coffee because I've been up since 3. So yeah, that would be great.
This is number 2 because of y'all. Love you, but I was
I
not
love
ready to get
you.
out of bed.
Oh, you got Red
Oh,
Bull?
Haggis,
Oh,
it's
man.
Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll's like a streaming app for anime. Yeah.
Because
My-
I needed
yeah.
to know. I needed to know where, like, if we wanted to send Jake something, how we could do that.
Oh, I mean, he all he want, like, he
We'll
doesn't
talk
even want
offline.
anything. He didn't want to celebrate his birthday. He didn't want to
He
celebrate
uses an
Halloween.
iPad, right? And he likes Roblox.
He wants Robux all the time.
So just send game packs for him.
Yeah, he's just
Like send out like the iPad, like the iPads.
the code thing. You know, you can buy the Robux and you have a code. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Now
Yeah.
it's work calling. I'm sorry, guys. Give me. I'm just gonna text.
You're
real
good,
quick.
sweets.
I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna try and read through some of the comments.
Go ahead. Yes, please. Because I'm such a poor host. I mean, every
No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't you start putting yourself down again, lady. I'll have to come and smack your bum.
So
Funny. I
Hey,
I miss
Crunchyroll
this
is a
one,
food
though.
too, Irish. I mean,
do. Miss
yeah,
this.
there
I
are
miss-
crunchy rolls.
yeah.
Yeah,
Aw.
about sushi. I'll shut up for that one.
Me too.
Yes. Oh, so
There
you
you
get the
go.
emotional hangover too, Rika. It's definitely, yeah, it's a lot. Amazing clear. Yes, there is. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I will try a match. I can't do it now. It's like class at night. And he's not going to school tomorrow, but I have work. I hope he will be independent. You know, he still needs quite a bit of support at the moment, Joe.
He's only 11, hun.
Yeah. But, you know, he does, you know, with his autism stuff, he struggles with a few things. Yeah.
Get him one of these.
One of those,
look.
actually, a mini one, yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't
Okay,
turn
I'm
the
sorry.
little boy on.
I have a patient that has to go to the doctor. That's why they had to call me.
Oh, okay. Are you okay? Do you need to go? They look really
I
cool.
can't drive. I mean, I can't drive. So
Yes, they actually play together. Get him beat.
that's
Cool.
so neat. Look at that.
Oh yeah, they play. You can comfort them. They're awesome. They're
Hi,
called
Buzz.
Felix.
Keep her eyes. I'm with you tonight, I believe. This evening.
All right.
I'm going to try that after work tomorrow, Severe.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
actually yes.
Kathy, thank you so much for her. I want her to. He's just 11. Give him and yourself some grace, sweethearts. Hey, you're doing a fantastic job.
I think it's because before I had this 3-year spiral of isolation, I was really full on, you know, like Halloween, we would make a costume, we were doing things together. And we've kind of lately, since the puberty thing as well, he just wants to be left alone because he's feeling all these emotions. So we've kind of like separated, and it's almost like feeling separate life. I miss that connection, and I've been avoiding. I've been doing a lot of YouTube, and you know, I try and spend time with him. I'll say, do you want me to hang out with you, mate? And he's like, no, leave me alone. And then I'm like,
Yeah, but I've noticed him coming in there
instead
when
of
he
just
needs your
sitting next to
attention.
him, I'm like, I'm relieved. You know,
Yeah.
I'm relieved that he said no. And that's
No, it's
terrible. But
okay.
it's like,
No, it's not. Autistic children sometimes do not want to be. They need their space. So when he's telling you that, just listen to him.
oh yeah, I know, but
Because
I
I've
don't know,
seen him come right up in there and hug your neck. So
Yeah.
That reminds me. I have somebody else
Yeah,
to introduce you to. Actually, Keela, you met her, Sharon Byrne.
oh, absolutely.
She actually has a complete
Oh, yeah,
coaching
Body Illusion.
program.
Thanks, Body Illusion.
Yeah, she's fixing to go on.
Yeah, she actually has a full coaching program for parenting
Okay.
with autistic children.
Oh,
And
there
everything.
you go.
Okay.
See, there's every reason we ended up where we are right now with StreamYard.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
there's
weird.
so many people and stuff. It's good.
Resources,
Whoops.
resources, and we
Yeah.
whatever we can do, we will do.
And
Your
when I'm
GoFundMe just
in
went up
a
a little
better
bit.
place, I want to be a resource too.
Check your GoFundMe, please.
oh
Just to make
Jesus,
sure.
what do you do, woman?
No,
Oh,
I just want to
no.
make sure that it's showing
Yeah. Sometimes it takes a minute.
because my phones aren't helping. I
Oh.
only have one hand.
Where how do I do it? I don't know how to get it. I'm going to be embarrassed.
Yeah, right.
Cece,
Oh,
hey, how
wow.
are you, Cece?
Sheila. Oh, thanks everyone.
No, don't say my name. I'm just saying that's. I just want to make sure that it's there.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
Sophia, yeah. Please, Sophia.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to see Cece in here. Hello.
I've lost the
Creators
StreamYard
Club,
tab
Steam
now. Where's
Replay.
it gone? Where are we?
I know
There
all
you
of
are.
my stuff just went to crap, and you know what? Crystal saved the day, and it was meant to be this way.
Oh, hey, Cece.
I
Oh,
know,
I'm probably just about to wrap up now, but you can go on the replay if you
I was
dare.
gonna say that it's called Team
that
Replay.
was my next question. Because I'm going to the neurosurgeon on Thursday.
Yes, good
Finally,
luck.
thank
Not
you,
that you
God.
need it. I'm so
I
relieved
just-
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't live in my own hell like I've been anymore. So
Yeah.
yes,
I'm just,
I'm gonna do something.
I'm not
But
gonna
I was
lie.
going to my weekend.
The 18th, I'm nervous.
What's that?
I'm nervous about the 18th, even though it's not going to be live.
What?
HG.
Oh yes, and she's got okay. So
Mm.
we did the dedication for Doug's life, the celebration for Doug, because I
Yep.
didn't know if I was going to be in surgery. So Crystal made the tribute video. So she reached out to HG because some of it was some of his material.
No, it
Guess
wasn't.
who gets an interview with HG Tudor?
Woo!
Does, and
It's
I'm
not
jealous as
live.
crap.
It's not live. Okay.
I don't care. I'm jealous.
I watched him because I started watching the thing with Doug.
That's right.
I don't like his voice.
I
Good
do
voice,
actually.
but I like his message.
It
and I like
depends.
the
It
fact-
depends on what he's talking about, actually, because
Yes,
I've
it does.
noticed he uses different ones.
He does. He said you will never find out who he is.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't-
If you
Well,
anyone can donate,
considering-
we understand that. But could you share? Could you please share her GoFundMe because she needs those injections. She's got
It's
to
right
get
there.
over this
Oh.
trauma.
Brother,
Thank you.
it's
Oh, I
been
didn't
on the
know that,
screen
Poet.
for a
I didn't know
good-
that Chow was talking to him too.
Ah.
The GoFundMe's been on my screen for a good 15, 20 minutes now. And shared in all three chats.
Cece,
Oh,
thank you.
Cece.
Cece, thank you for that. I'm gonna
I
cry.
hope
because-
you're okay, darling. You've got my number well, you've got my Facebook
Cece,
thing
thank you.
to stalk me now. So
I
she called me. She called me when I was in the hospital for 2.5. I think it was about 2.5 hours we were talking for. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm. Yeah. I think the whole autistic thing. I mean, I love being by myself. I do.
Mad, you're right. She doesn't
Yeah.
just need them. She's gonna get them.
Thank you.
I claim that.
I will come hell or high water. I will be getting them definitely.
So,
Um,
T, do you have your calendar? I know it's the holidays. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but I don't want to leave you hanging. I'm not like that. I can't do my mental health job without knowing that I've got to follow up. And I know I talk to you all the time.
You're having like an operation thing, you know?
Yeah, I am.
So like, hello. Don't worry about me. You get yourself
I know, no,
sorted.
that's not possible. I talk to you all the time. It's not-
Worst case scenario, I will do the follow up if needed.
Right, and even if Crystal follows up, because we need, I have to have that. So when is your availability?
Oh blimey.
As long
I'm
as
supposed
it's
to
not
be
5 a.m.
No. Are you in
We're
the same
14
time
hours
zone?
apart. Yes, we are. So we're 14 hours apart.
I don't know.
Yes, Sophia. I know, baby. I know.
Yeah, I know, right? Did you you went to sleep? Are you going to go to sleep tonight?
I slept last night 6 hours. I
6
probably
hours?
not gonna sleep-
Oh, well done. That's good.
I know everybody should be proud
It's
of me.
not
I went
easy,
5
mate.
days
It's
with no
not
sleep.
easy.
Don't ask
So-
Crystal Phoenix how much
Steroids
she
are
sleeps.
killer. Steroids are a killer, man. I couldn't sleep, and you're on like 50 million times
times
more
the
than I was.
potency of prednisone and a double dose of that, and I take it double time. It's the only thing that would get the inflammation enough off my nerve because my left arm is
Oh
just
my
totally
gosh.
paralyzed.
Hmm.
So, but we're getting that fixed. Hope is on the way.
Crazy. All right, look, I don't know. I'm free on. I don't know. I don't know. I don't.
I tell
It's
you
a
what, how
time
about I
zone.
No. Okay. Oh yeah, we had to look up this conversion. Y'all would have cracked up at us last night. Or my last night, her this morning. Listen, T, how about this? When I go to the neurosurgeon on Thursday, when I get back, I'll know a surgery date and we can nail it down from there. Is that okay?
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not in any rush, you know.
And for the next 9 weeks on Saturdays, we have my series for Dylan.
Okay.
For my grandson
Cool.
Dylan that ended his life at 13 for being cyberbullied. Crystal has turned that in to a 10-week thing for awareness for children.
It's suicide awareness period, but it is more geared.
I'm so
towards
sorry,
children.
Kayla.
No, but y'all have made me. You're my support team. That's why I love you so much. I mean, it's just Crystal. She didn't have to do that,
Yeah.
but she
No, but
did.
it's important. It's important, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm doing it. It's not just for Dylan, but it is partially inspired by it, you know. I mean, I
Yeah.
spoke in a suicide awareness summit back during Suicide Awareness Month. I actually did present in a summit for that.
And she did this for Dylan.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It still matters.
You've lost so many, Kayla. I don't know how you're just incredible, you know, for what you do. And then you're having surgery, and the reason you're having surgery is because your spine has collapsed from helping other people, you know?
Being a paramedic. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you're amazing people.
I would have met
Really.
you amazing people. I never, like you said, who would have thought we would be sitting on you?
Hey, Nico.
That's what I'm really sorry to say. Don't make me go full German on you, Kayla, because you know I will.
Oh, Sophia. That's gotta be for Sophia.
That's okay. Now that I
Okay.
know where she is, I've got family that's 30 minutes away. I got you.
Yeah.
No,
We're
my
all gonna be okay. We're all gonna be better.
no,
than
we're gonna be better than okay.
Yes, we are.
Okay is what we say, you know, when we want to pacify people.
That's right. We're gonna make it, and we're gonna survive. And we are survivors, and we are going to be inspiration to our children.
On this one, okay. I volunteer for an organization called Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence. And there are 4 stages. There are victims, survivors, thrivers,
Drivers.
and warriors.
Yes.
Okay.
And all of the above.
Yes, you are.
I go between thriver and warrior. Occasionally I'll slip into the victim mode. I won't lie. We all have our moments.
We
Yeah.
did the waltz.
You know, but people here that are on this stage and in that chat are all what I like to call phoenixes, because I hate the term survivor. I think it's derogatory. But I am.
Thanks, Kathy. My sister has a phoenix tattooed on her back. All of,
Yes,
all
but
the
I'm a
colours, yeah.
hybrid, my dear. I am a hybrid. I am.
Hybrid. Look at that. It's beautiful.
That's my
Aw.
design.
It's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
That is a kitty phoenix in a lotus flower.
Awesome. I love it.
That is my brain.
Crystal, I want to thank you for allowing us and helping us and use your platform because
Yes.
since mine broke, who could break StreamYard? Me.
What is going on with it?
Quite a few people, actually.
But T, I want to thank you for trusting me and coming to me. That meant the world to me. And I hope that I can give back just a little bit that you've given to being my friend.
Oh, you've given me so much, mate. Honestly, thank you. I appreciate you so much. You're an
And
incredible
you're,
human, and you're an incredible human, and I'm glad you're in my life. I really am, and
oh, I'm so
hopefully
thankful you're in my life. Yes.
Apparently, we're making Mad Drop their ache. Like, as I read that, all I could hear was Jim Carrey as the Grinch in my head.
That's my kitchen. To my hole. I've got to do that then because I was using Chrome.
I
That
had
might be what was blocking me.
I had the pleasure of meeting Mad Drop Bear at the protest. He was there. He was awesome. It was lovely to meet you and give you a hug.
But
I
Good egg.
love you
I'm
guys.
so grateful.
I'm gonna call it.
You too.
I'm sorry, guys, but I really, really need to get to working.
I've got to work.
Because I
Okay, Sophia wants to know, last question. Most importantly, T, do you feel some kind of relief yet?
I do. It's been good. It's just really nice to have this, like, kind of, even though it's on horrible things, to have like this
Well,
bond with people,
Cece.
and yeah. Yes, I know.
Cece,
I
tip for
don't. I
you
don't
younger
do enough
people.
self-care. I
it's
don't do
the
enough self-care.
feeling. It's the feeling.
Spend a
of-
bit of time each day to self-reflect and be grateful what we all have. If we can't get there, please know to ask for assistance with it. Cece,
Yeah.
I love you and I thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you two say
Oh,
your
Mad.
piece, and then I've got
Okay,
a
thank you,
last bit
Crystal.
of wisdom since it is technically my
Yes,
channel.
see, I don't get to get the. So here's my last question. I always ask the last one, so I'll ask. Then I'm gonna let. Here's my question for you, T. You know, I always have one. So right now, if there's someone out there living under that control, and they can hear you, what would be your advice to them?
Oh my gosh.
That's hard.
It is hard, but we can do
Yeah.
hard things.
Ah. Just that you're worth more than this, and there is a way out. But I'm sure people said that to me, and I didn't listen.
No,
You've
but
gotta,
if they're hearing you, say it. Just
yeah. You're worthy. You're worthy, and you don't deserve this, and it isn't your fault. Because a lot of the time I was made to feel like it was my fault. That's a common thing. That's the gaslighting, isn't it?
yes. It is.
Yeah.
So
And
now I want
you
you to
only
take
get,
those words, and I want you to turn them in and tell yourself that.
yeah. No, I do now. I used to have a lot of worthlessness, like feelings of but yeah, again, YouTube has helped me with that. You guys have helped me with that. So I'm forever grateful, and I hope that you guys are in my life for a long time. And I've never had a
Can't get rid of
friend.
it.
The longest friend I had was that friend that was the 7 years with that
Yeah.
girl that
You
was
can't get rid of us. We love you.
taking me out. She was taking me out as a wingman, to get guys, and then I was sort of obliged to sleep with their friends. Yeah. I was
Cece
like a
says, I'm
trophy
here.
wife.
Lady Gaga has a quick course in this on her website. Oh, I got to check that out. Thank you, Cece.
Awesome. I love Lady Gaga. She's a freaking legend. Yeah.
Okay, so Crystal, we will let you have it.
Okay. So one thing that I like to tell my clients, when I have paying ones, but basically people that I coach, is when you start your day, write down 3 things that you like about yourself. And one of them can be superficial. Okay. Looks wise. But not I'm a good mom. Okay. Well, in your case, actually, T, that is something that you need to remind yourself of.
Yes, it
Because
is.
you are a good mom.
I find that hard to tell myself. Yeah.
We can do hard things.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done.
Mhm.
Okay. 3 things you're grateful for. And 3 things that you're looking forward to. Whether it be long term, like planning a vacation in the next year. Dinner with your son that night.
Yeah.
Alive in the next day. And do that every morning. That actually helps start your day on a positive note.
Yeah.
Get your son to do it too.
Yeah, okay.
It
I
helps
do
with
actually have a thing on the wall that says we went through it together and we thought of all the like things that are good about him, and he has that on the wall, like next to the TV to remind him.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
start a brag board.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with bragging about a win. I didn't have
A
a
brag
pen.
board and a what are they making it? They make them every New Year's. Your dream board, or what is it?
Vision
Vision board.
board.
Vision board.
A vision board, yeah.
Yep, that's
Okay.
actually part of the 12-week program I'm on.
Yeah.
Is creating a vision board that is in week 10.
Yeah.
But you know, brag about not having a panic attack that day. You know, going
Yeah.
for a walk, having a bottle of water instead of a Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Any
good with
little-
that. I'm quite anti-sugar, so but yeah.
But I'm saying any little win
Yeah. Yeah.
to boost your self-confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sing a song.
Oh, I
Right.
sing a lot.
Write a letter. I'm real
Yeah.
big with the I like the purge and burn method
Okay.
of healing. Basically, and it's even writing a letter to your younger self about the
Yeah.
things that are hurting, that you are hurting.
Yeah.
Write a letter to your abuser. Burn it. Release the energy, but get it.
Burn it
Yeah.
and release.
That's why I call it a purge and burn.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just exactly. Everything starts with baby steps. You know,
That
take a
first.
bubble bath.
I don't drink Monster. And it was a sugar-free one. Sorry.
You know, take a bubble bath. Play a game.
Self-care. Self-care.
Yeah.
Yes, I do need to do more self-care. I do, absolutely. Yeah.
Guilty as charged. Okay. When we get off of here, I'm not even gonna lie. I know I'm supposed to be writing and editing, but I'm gonna take 2 hours and watch The Grinch.
Good
It
for
is
you.
one of
In
my
my living
favorite
room, in my
movies.
kitchen, I have Grinch everywhere. It's all decorated.
I still haven't put our tree up. I need to put the tree up, and I like to watch Elf. I love it. I love
Okay, so
Elf.
there's 2 of your things to write down. There you go, T.
And I'm working all day tomorrow. Like, it's my longest day. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Mad, that was a sugar-free. You will not see me drinking
See,
it and not
I know
the one like I'm addicted to Coke Zero. I don't have sugary drinks. But yeah.
Now give me
Anyway.
the sugar. Gimme. But
Yeah,
So,
I
Crystal, I'm
know.
gonna tell
Making
you,
healthy
thank you.
meals. Yeah.
I do want to say thank you for jumping in.
Mhm.
There was a reason that this happened.
Mhm.
There was a reason. There's going to be relationships and formed from here. There's going to be a lot of things happen from
Thank
just
you, Hippie.
that. And T, I think we ended up right where we needed to be.
I hope so. There was lots of stuff that I missed out, so I hope I got the most important
No, we're
bits
gonna,
out.
we're gonna
And
do a part 2 as soon as I go to my neurosurgeon, because that's gonna let you organize your brain. Now you can organize, like, this is what I
And yeah,
told
you-
you, this is what I learned.
okay, I'll see
and I
you in
wanna
about 50
relate it.
years then.
No.
All my
Um,
brain.
As long as you want.
That's funny.
But you gotta take
Or
it all together.
I
And I think another one would be better to do that with.
Okay,
honestly,
yeah.
I can probably pull this and get the transcript and send
Yes.
it to you.
And
Oh
there
my
you
gosh.
go.
Keela, you will have to remind me.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Okay. Because my brain,
That's why I have this paper and pen right here, because my brain doesn't work.
my brain is on, I have to get chapters in, I have to get chapters edited and put in order. And I have to write myself for this anthology.
Yeah.
And all of that needs to be done and ready to go to my guru, Lonnie Ray, by Sunday morning so that it's ready for the 21st.
So I'm so happy for you.
And I'm still trying to raise the 300 for Lonnie because I don't want to pay it out of pocket. But she basically guarantees international bestseller within 8 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not even playing on that one. I've written in 3 anthologies with her, and we've every single one within 8 hours hit international bestseller.
So
This
see,
woman knows what she's doing.
there's reasons we're all here. Wait, CC said born.
Born this way.
Thank you, CC. And Crystal, I'm gonna get with you. We're gonna get some of that done. I'm gonna help you get that done. Since I'm gonna be sitting up doing nothing, being my phone's taken away from me by my mom. I'm 50
Sorry,
years old, guys. I'm 50, and she takes my phones after surgery.
Why? Oh my God.
Because they don't want
Sorry.
me. I can't move my neck, and I don't want her to hear what I'm talking about on my end of the phone. So I don't want to use speaker. And I got this big C collar on, and I'm like, okay, this is not going to work for me. I'm going to get on my FaceTime or something on my iPad.
Yeah. You need to, well, you already wear glasses, but I was going to say, you need to get the glasses like I have that Matt got me. No, I have smart glasses that you can put your lenses in. Oh, yeah.
What?
I love them. I just don't use them enough, but yeah, I have smart glasses. They're speakers that you can Bluetooth to your phone or your.
Oh, what?
Oh yeah, it's in the thing. Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
I've got my
Yeah.
earbuds. I have the invisible ones that fit
I've
right
got
in
2 pairs of them. Yeah, but you can put blue lights in them and everything. They're amazing.
We got this, guys. We got this.
On that note,
I
I
want
love
everybody
you
to have an
guys.
amazing day.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
need to
Cece.
go. It's 11 p.m. here nearly, and I need to get my son. Like, I need to go to bed.
Okay.
And my
Okay,
We're
boy.
good.
Yep. Love you guys.
Chris,
I
I'll
will
call you later.
Thank
Yep.
you so much.
Thank you
You're
so much for
welcome.
everybody that has
Thank you
helped
so much,
us and
everyone, for
been
being here and listening to my story. And yeah,
Thank you for trusting me, T. Thank you for trusting me.
no, thank you for listening. Thank you for being there for me. You know,
That's
I
what we
appreciate
do.
it more than you know.
That's what we do always.
My
Okay, guys, till
family
next
aren't very
time,
trauma
I will
informed.
be
You
on
know,
The Other's Keeper at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time tonight. Y'all
And
can send me there.
guys, jump over to Body Illusion. She's going
Body
on
Illusions
in
coming on. Yeah, yes, please.
7 minutes.
Love y'all. Thank you all.
Love you.
bye. See you guys.
Bye.